Anyone? Hare Krishna.
Dear devotees, just to let you know, we do actually encourage that you show your face and you can switch on your video. You don't have to switch that off. Of course, if you have internet weakness, like sometimes I do, you may need to do that. So please show yourself and don't be afraid to come and read. I mean, I can't because I can't read the Sanskrit. I love to read the English, but not the Sanskrit.
Okay.
So please.
I can read the Sanskrit if you like. And then.
Yes, please. Yeah. That'd be wonderful.
Okay. Satam prasangan mama virya samvido bhavanti hitakarna rasayana katha tajasho nad ashva apuvarga vartamani shraddha rathir bhaktir anukrimishyati.
Satam, of pure devotees, prashangat, through the association, mama, my, virya, wonderful activities, samvidaha, by discussion of, bhavanti, become, hrit, to the heart, karna, to the ear, rasa ayanaha, pleasing, kataha, the stories, tat, of that, Yoshanat, is that or Josh? Joshanat. By cultivation, Ashu, quickly, Apavarga, of liberation, Vartmani, on the path, Shraddha, firm faith, Ratihi, attraction, Bhaktihi, devotion, Anukramishyati, will follow in order. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. In the association of pure devotees, discussion of the pastimes and activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is very pleasing and satisfying to the ear and the heart. By cultivating such knowledge, one gradually becomes advanced on the path of liberation, and thereafter he is freed and his attraction becomes fixed. Then real devotion and devotional service begin. Purport. You want to rise it up a bit? Yes. Okay. The process of advancing in Krishna consciousness and devotional service is described here. The first point is that one must seek the association of persons who are Krishna conscious and who engage in devotional service. Without such association, one cannot make advancement. Simply by theoretical knowledge or study, one cannot make any appreciable advancement. One must give up the association of materialistic persons and seek the association of devotees, because without the association of devotees, one cannot understand the activities of the Lord. Generally, people are convinced of the impersonal feature of the absolute truth. Because they do not associate with devotees, they cannot understand that the absolute truth can be a person and have personal activities. This is very difficult. This is a very difficult subject matter. And unless one has personal understanding of the absolute truth, there is no meaning to devotion. Service or devotion cannot be offered to anything impersonal. Service must be offered to a person. Non-devotees cannot appreciate Krishna consciousness by reading the Srimad Bhagavatam or any other Vedic literature wherein the activities of the Lord are described. They think that these activities are fictional, manufactured stories, because spiritual life is not explained to them in the proper mood. To understand the personal activities of the Lord, one has to seek the association of devotees. And by such association, when one contemplates and tries to understand the transcendental activities of the Lord, the path to liberation is open and he is freed. One who has firm faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes fixed, and his attraction for association with the Lord and the devotees increases. Association with devotees means association with the Lord. The devotee who makes this association, the devotee who makes this association develop, what does it mean, make? Anyway, I'll ask a question after. The devotee who makes this association develops the consciousness for rendering service to the Lord, and then being situated in the transcendental position of devotional service, he gradually becomes perfect. Are we allowed to ask questions on this?
Yeah, why not? Please go ahead. I mean, you can comment first what you understood.
Yeah, it was very interesting. I read in translation that Srila Prabhupada translates as in the association of pure devotees, but in his purport, he drops the word pure devotees. He just says in the association of devotees, and he goes on to explain that devotees means those. Well, let me find that exactly and repeat that. Can we go back up a bit? Up. No, I mean, okay. So here, if you don't mind, I'll read the purport fully again to catch that, because it's very important. At least what Prabhupada is saying word for word. Let's say we all know his words are very chosen very specifically. The process of advancing in Krishna consciousness and devotional service is described here. The first point is that one must seek the associations of persons who are Krishna conscious and who engage in devotional service. Without such association, one cannot make advancement. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so again.
So we have to come near devotees or associate. Associate means come near, right? Like six ways of.
No, not necessarily come near, but let's say hear from, because, what does that mean to Prabhupada? We associate with Prabhupada.
Hearing is also near, but there are 6 ways of associating in Nectar of Instruction. No? 4th chapter, 4th text.
Yeah, I mean, we just want to make it clear that this association also means with Prabhupada, with Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, right?
Sure. Very good.
Because when we say come near, it gives a physical meaning of physicality near. Distance, but
why I'm saying is because there is this verse which talks about, which says, that what is it? Acharya, this thing to follow the instruction of Acharya in the association of devotees. Live in the association of devotees and follow the, what is that verse? Anyone? Pradyumna Prabhu, you know that verse?
I'm not getting which, what is the translation?
One should live in the association of devotees. Okay. And follow the instruction of the Acharya. Live in the association of devotees.
I think you just got it. No, wasn't that the one? You just got it on Nectar of Devotion?
No.
Oh, sorry, Nectar of Instruction.
It's 10 to 31. It's the one, 4th chapter. This is Tandera Sevi, Charana Sevi, Bhakta Sane Vas, Janme Janme Hai Ye Abhilash. No. What is that? Birth after birth, desire to serve the lotus with Acharya and live in the society of devotees. A spiritual atmosphere can be maintained only by living in a society of devotees and by serving the orders of the Acharya. That is why I was saying physical. But
so then, let's say this, we have to be clear in this point. Then there's 2 very important parts to association. And Prabhupada knows what we need. So he's saying, on one aspect, there's the physical association, which let's say is ISKCON. And the reason why Prabhupada built temples is just so devotees can be there, congregate, and create that association. And the other one is the Vani association.
Or here also in Srila Rupa Goswami, in Nectar of Instruction, fourth verse, which we read last week, Dadati pratigrinati guhyam akhyati prichati bhungte bhojayate chaiva shad vidham priti lakshanam, offering gifts in charity, accepting charitable gifts, revealing one's mind in confidence, inquiring confidentially, accepting prasad and offering prasad are the 6 symptoms of love shared by one devotee and another. So he says in this verse, Srila Rupa Goswami explains how to perform devotional activities in the association of other devotees. Okay. So it's kind of feels like living in the association. And if you go forward in this purport, also Srila Prabhupada similarly says, in the previous verse, Srila Goswami advised that one should renounce worldly association and to keep company with devotees. A society has been, ISKCON has been established to facilitate the 6 kinds of loving exchanges between devotees. If you go forward, it talks about living also, similarly.
Yeah, I fully agree with this concept. I mean, I'm experiencing it that we need both. And, you know, even we don't need to experience it ourselves. We have to ask ourselves, why did Prabhupada spend a lot of his time and energy building brick walls? It was just to house and attract devotees to live there so we could get that physical association that we do need.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're stating. So that means then can we accept that we are in trouble if we are living alone and we're not in a group, we're not in group association. If we're just living alone, we can say that's a red flag, that's a danger area, right?
Very big danger. No?
Yeah.
Because he says about if you he says another purport, if someone can pull it up, or else I will search and pull it up soon. If one, because one is a social animal, if one does not associate with devotees, one will have to associate with materialists.
Yeah.
Cannot live alone. So that's the whole. Can you go ahead, Prabhu, please?
Continue reading, you mean?
Yeah. I mean, whatever you were analyzing this, no?
Well, it was the fact, well, I've already read it, but there's more. Nowhere in the purport does Prabhupada again use that word pure devotees, but that's the translation. So for me, you know, it kind of says what we've just stated, what we've just made clear, I think, is that whether they're pure devotees or not, as long as they're engaged in following the instructions of the spiritual master and trying to serve the spiritual master, we need that association. That's part of the whole package that we need. So we've got, you know, because some people are preaching and may say, well, you just need Vani, read the books, which is true. But are you on that level where you can survive and continue to progress just on the Vani? And Prabhupada seems to say, generally for the masses, not. You need association. That's why he created temples and called it ISKCON.
So this is what we have been discussing, no, on the chat too. And this has been our point of discussion a long time, whether we should associate with devotees in ISKCON, other Gaudiya Math even, or other people, and all these things also. And what does it mean, pure devotees? And in Nectar of Devotion, and I can pull it up, I don't have exact reference, but I know where he talks about it. And that's how I understood when he talks about pure devotees, he means his devotees who are almost exactly like that. And at different places, he has talked about a pure devotee is one who is sincerely trying to follow the instruction of his spiritual master. Then is a pure devotee because he's under the shelter of a pure devotee. And he says that makes him under the shelter of pure devotee rather than under shelter of Maya. And so even though we feel the pangs of Maya, if we are as a sadhaka, sadhana bhakti, but we are under Srila Prabhupada's shelter like that, and whatever is happening to us because of the whatever we're feeling, it's not exactly karma. He may be using the karma to purify us, but it is actually under his shelter, under his overall management it is happening to us. But the key is those in Nectar of Devotion, when he talks about, the key is that whole thing that we have been again and again talking about, the Nectar of Devotion, the 6th chapter. Who is following these 5 or first 3? He mentions the basic principles, Srila Rupa Goswami, in the 6th chapter, how to discharge devotional service, accepting, he says here, although Srila Rupa Goswami mentions 20 items and all of them are very important, out of the 20, the first 3, namely accepting the shelter of a bona fide spiritual master, taking initiation from him, and serving him with respect and reverence, are the most important. So pure devotees, when he says this is person who is properly following or trying to follow the sadhana bhakti, at least these 3. You see, so these 3 and this next chapter, this is the evidence regarding devotional service, all these items. The first item, accepting shelter, he talks about this part. One who accept him as good as God, as a representative of God. He is the external manifestation. We talked about, we went through in the chat about what does it mean accept the spiritual master. That's where I see one is not doing it. Like suppose, sorry, I shouldn't say that.
Who is not doing it?
I'm taking that sentence back. What I was meaning one person. So I take that back. So what my understanding is, and please correct me, from this reading, direct reading, is that someone who is following this, he is accepting the spiritual master as good as God. Someone who is accepting, no, he is perfect. There is no doubt about that he is not from God. His words are perfect. And that he is learning Bhagavatam from him seriously with all respect and veneration from the spiritual master, then these are all accepting shelter, the first stage. And then he is trying to satisfy that spiritual master, like Srila Prabhupada, I want to please you, like that. And then because he has unflinching faith in God and the spiritual master, everything becomes revealed very easily. This is the first. Then he takes initiation also. This is the next stage is described. Initiation from him. So this is a pure devotee according to my definition. Pure devotee is when he says.
Yeah, I mean, okay. So why can't that be even, let's say, I give you, I mean, those who accept a pure devotee and those who don't accept a pure devotee, we must be able to prove from the other side also that there are symptoms that shouldn't manifest if they're not following a pure devotee. There should be symptoms that should manifest or shouldn't manifest. And if you are following a pure devotee and there are symptoms that manifest, the symptoms that manifest or the activities that manifest prove that they're following a pure devotee. And this is what I see, although, I'm a Prabhupada man, but I also have to accept what I see as facts. So I see all over the place. I associate with many different kinds of people, but I see all over the place people within ISKCON that have chosen their so-called gurus, and I'll talk about that a little bit, and that are manifesting super Vaishnava qualities, intense desire and enthusiasm to serve Prabhupada, and they're serving Prabhupada in ways that he said, okay, change books, that's another thing, but still they're going out distributing Prabhupada's books and blah, blah, blah. And they're manifesting wonderful qualities of Vaishnavism. So I can't sit here and say, okay, I see this devotee becoming like this, changing like this, but it's not working because they don't accept Srila Prabhupada. Well, maybe our maths is wrong, and maybe they are accepting Prabhupada, actually. because we all know that, and we stated here all the time that there's no one who's written a commentary in Srimad Bhagavatam except Prabhupada. So they're all reading Prabhupada, even Gaudiya devotees who does it. So as long as they're reading and learning from that, on some level they're accepting Prabhupada, not as clear and not as direct as those who, without any man in the middle, just accept Prabhupada directly. But still, you know, I can accept Prabhupada directly in the Ritvik position. And I may not serve Prabhupada so nicely or so sincerely or so enthusiastically as someone who has Prabhupada actually, in fact, Srila Prabhupada as his actual Diksha Guru, whether he knows it or not. But Prabhupada and Krishna are taking it like that. And never mind this in-between person who thinks he's a Diksha Guru. And they're making much more progress, advancement, getting empowered to preach. They're more effective in preaching. We can't ignore all of this. So for me, that's where I have a problem with the maths, and I kind of need to kind of make it all fit. And a lot of times it don't fit. We kind of, for me, it seems like we're very much sectarian and very much in a sort of almost the same as ISKCON. They have a monopoly of Prabhupada, the old generation. We have a monopoly of the Ritvik, and they don't, or they're not going to see. So for me, it doesn't add up when I see this. Now we're trying to say that because they don't accept Prabhupada directly as their spiritual master, they don't have faith that Srila Prabhupada is their master because they accept someone else. So therefore, their association is useless, actually. I couldn't disagree with that enough, and I don't agree with that because I just see. I see what's happening. I see devotees. I spend time with devotees. It doesn't add up.
So you very good. So very nicely you encapsulated all these thinkings wonderfully, which all of us, we think like this, we have to think like this, like how you are thinking. I mean, what I'm reading is not matching what I'm seeing, so how do we handle this? Because this is also true, is written right there in black and white. No,
What's written there?
all these things.
See?
That this is the first stage in practicing devotional service. Is right there.
Please, can you read that? What you're saying right now.
This is the first stage, no, in devotional service. Up. You see, this is accepting shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. This is the evidence.
Okay, so let me say they are accepting the shelter of Prabhupada. As long as they're reading Bhagavatam, let's just call it straight on Bhagavatam. If they're reading Bhagavatam and progressing, they're accepting Prabhupada.
Okay, so let us look at this again. Black and white, I think you may be picking and choosing here, Prabhu, because with
No,
all
because
respect,
intrinsically, I want to reject them, right? As a Prabhupada man, I don't want to accept them, and I don't want to give them the credit of blah, blah, blah. But I see the fact.
Let's forget the one second. There are two things. One is a Shabda Praman, Anuman Praman, and Pratyaksha Praman. All three are valuable for our analysis and self-understanding. We can't take just one and think we know it. For sure, what you are saying has to be taken as one of the proofs, direct Pratyaksha. All I am talking right now about Shabda Praman alone without Pratyaksha, so that then we can mix both the things together and see what could be right, not right. So if first we take a Shabda Praman, which is coming from the Acharyas, Srila Rupa Goswami, and in the Parampara, Srila Prabhupada, quoting Bhagavatam, they are saying this is how devotional service is practiced. And they are giving an evidence of these from the Bhagavatam then. And in that, taking shelter of the spiritual master is, we just read in the previous verse, previous chapter, that that's the first stage. Then there are 64 principles. But the most important are the first three, right?
Okay, just on this, be clear to us, please. So right now, anybody, anywhere, it doesn't matter who his so-called spiritual master is, anyone who's reading Srimad Bhagavatam, and let's say getting fed by it, therefore being purified or changed. Anyone who's reading Prabhupada Srimad Bhagavatam, is he unknowingly or knowingly does he get Prabhupada as his spiritual master, as his spiritual shelter?
Let us see what Srila Prabhupada and Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Prabhupada are writing. Let's not, you can't answer that, no.
Okay.
So this is out of the 20, the first three, namely accepting the shelter of the bona fide spiritual master, taking initiation from him, that person whom one is taking shelter of, and serving him, that same person, are the most important. That we
Okay.
agree, right? And that's why the first five are quoted like that. First five are first quoted. And many other places, Shila, when this is all coming from this whole chapter, actually, this is from Sanatan Goswami was taught by Lord Chaitanya in Varan in Prayag, and then Rupa Goswami, Srila Rupa Goswami then took it from those, some of those principles from the most important ones from Sanatan Goswami. So it is coming directly from Lord Chaitanya, and you can see in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, the chapter where the teachings of Sanatan Goswami, you can see the first is accepting shelter. Guru Ashraya, Lord Chaitanya says that.
Okay, Prabhuji, sorry.
Okay,
Let's just
so
focus
taking
on this
shelter.
point now.
So
because-
taking shelter.
Mhm.
When you are saying Bhagavatam, that's just one aspect of taking shelter. No, there are many other things together form taking shelter, which are given
Okay.
here. Four, I see as four. Maybe others can see more, but my analysis of this, of taking shelter, 1, 2, 3, 4 paragraphs are taking shelter paragraphs, are talking about this. First is, there are more, but in our context, it is first is about selecting the right person to do. So we are not talking about that. Let's go to the third verse, third paragraph. So first aspect is to take a shelter of the spiritual master as represent, treat him as representative of God and of super soul. See, that is the first, which
Okay,
similarly,
okay, just stop there. All
yeah.
right, just stop there. Just tell us then, in what we're reading right now, are ISKCON devotees and Ritvik devotees and whoever Gaudiya Math or Mr. Blogs at home, if they're reading Srimad Bhagavatam and let's say
But that is the
absorbing
second.
it,
That is the second part. No, the
what is
first
the first
is,
part?
first part is that accepting him as the representative of God. This,
Okay, they're accepted. Everybody in ISKCON except Prabhupada is a representative of God.
just by saying it doesn't mean, no, there are symptoms of accepting, no, Prabhu.
No,
What it
no, no,
means,
no.
okay,
No, they're
what it means,
accepted. Absolutely.
okay, Prabhu, then we have to, that's why I quoted all those things about why, what does it mean by accepting as, so I can show that again. Let us go through.
Yeah, please do that. And let's just make this humble request right from now. Just keep it simple and keep it clear and show this point. Okay, what we are doing with it, what I'm this stupid fool doing in that situation, that right or wrong, and what are they doing which is right or wrong. You know, so just have clear.
Okay, let me, I have to share my WhatsApp,
I
because
hope
that,
everybody understands what we're trying to prove here. So there's a group that's saying basically that ISKCON devotees, let's say directly, don't have the shelter of Prabhupada. And then those who accept Prabhupada directly, such as the Ritviks, they have the shelter. We're trying to clarify this. Is that correct, Nimai Pandit Prabhu?
yes, Prabhu. So,
Okay.
okay, so what does it mean to take shelter? Sorry, what does it mean to accept Srila Prabhupada as good as God? And why I am saying that many devotees, even in ISKCON, Gaudiya Math for sure, and maybe, I don't know, many Ritvik devotees or other devotees also are not. I mean, I have been in that same aspect, so I have struggled against it to overcome it. I kind of am so particular about it, um, I mean, you can see how much fanatic I am about this.
Fanatic, let's say fanatic.
That's why I'm saying fanatic. So accept means when it says, no, this Bhagavatam was, you just read this, says accept, which is, I took it from Bhagavad Gita as it is, introduction, where Srila Prabhupada is talking about how one should read Bhagavad Gita. So there is one excerpt from that. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita should be taken up in a spirit of devotion. One should not think that he is equal to Krishna, nor should he think that Krishna is an ordinary personality or even a very great personality. Lord Shri Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, at least theoretically, according to the statements of Bhagavad Gita or the statements of Arjuna. The person who is trying to understand the Bhagavad Gita, he should therefore at least theoretically accept Sri Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead, and with that submissive spirit, we can understand the Bhagavad Gita. Unless one reads the Bhagavad Gita in a submissive spirit, it is very difficult to understand Bhagavad Gita because it is a great mystery. Now, Bhagavad Gita, we were reading CC Adi Leela 134 when we were reading. We went through this whole thing that Bhagavad Gita is also considered as one of our Shiksha Gurus. You know, Krishna Chaitanya Guru has manifested himself in this manner. One of, so that's how this is in the same manner of accepting Srila Prabhupada. Also, similarly, we have to accept. That's how I'm equating that. This part is important, that Krishna is, or he is not an ordinary person, Srila Prabhupada, nor even a great person. He is a spiritual personality. Now, you can see in Leelamrita, as it is, which people quote liberally, interspersed in talks and classes and dealing.
Prabhuji, let's forget Lilamrita, please. Okay, you
Why?
stick to the
Because
point and come to the point.
that has interspersed in people's talks, and they accept in the consciousness. I've seen the talks and everything in the dealings that Prabhupada is an ordinary person. Maybe a great
Prabhuji, let's
person.
forget all that. That's not true. Sorry. I don't know what space you've been living in, but everybody in ISKCON, more or less, they accept Krishna as God, at least in theory, and more than that.
I'm not talking about Krishna, I'm talking about Srila Prabhupada.
I'm talking about Krishna.
Yeah.
And they accept Bhagavad Gita as the words of God. And they accept Srila Prabhupada as the pure representative of Krishna. Absolutely. Okay, there are, of course, new people that it'll take them 1 year, 2 years, 3 years to kind of figure out Prabhupada's position. But absolutely, those people in ISKCON know to some large degree that Prabhupada is a pure devotee. Maybe not in any kind of deep, detailed philosophical understanding, maybe, but they're absolutely the same as us. No difference. I don't see any difference from our understanding of Prabhupada and them. And I can even say that some of them within the society of ISKCON have much more faith in Prabhupada than me, understand much more who Prabhupada is than me. So you're saying and you're kind of implying that they see Prabhupada as an ordinary man. I don't see it at all. I don't see it at all. I don't accept it. And further to that, and this is why I'm saying this argument, is if they accept Prabhupada as a regular man, let's say they do, then how the hell they're manifesting enthusiasm to follow his system every day and have a taste for reading Bhagavad Gita, have a taste for reading Srimad Bhagavatam, have a taste to go and preach and make devotees and chant and go on Harinam and all these things. So where's that coming from?
Okay,
They should be offenders and immediately struck down with thunder, if that's the real situation, right? They're offenders. If you're saying they see him as an ordinary man, right? But
okay, so there are different parts to this whole conversation. One is you are saying that ISKCON devotees in general, they don't accept Srila Prabhupada as an ordinary person. They accept him as
absolutely not.
directly Krishna's representative. And
Sure.
second, you're saying is that otherwise there is supportive evidence that you see how enthusiastic they are and everything. How can otherwise this offense should be, they would be like, they can't get up.
They should be cut off from the trunk of devotional sentiment, devotional feelings. They should be dry up, right? Dry, almost dead, let's say, or dead.
So this
That's
is
not happening.
these are very interesting observation. So that last part, let's take it up a little bit later, because first we are trying to get the fact right that first of all the Shabda Praman, that accepting the shelter of the spiritual master means accepting him as good as God first. Second is learning Bhagavatam from him. Third, um, trying to please him. Fourth, having full faith in him. Okay, there are no doubts.
Mhm.
So this is the surrender. You surrendering. I am taking shelter. I am surrendering to you as God, because Krishna says, "Sarv dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja." Surrender to me alone. Instead of surrendering to God alone, it is the same as surrendering to the bona fide spiritual master. I'm still surrendering to God alone. He is a complete replacement. So in that manner, one surrenders. Okay, now please teach me. Like Arjuna says to Krishna, now I am your servant, I am your shishya. Now you teach me. So that okay. So that we are clear about. These four are aspects of taking Guru Ashraya, right? Now, is that okay, Prabhu?
Yeah, it's kind of okay, but you're making it kind of quite extreme that somebody has to be like that, then they take shelter. But that's not how it happens. To the degree that you surrender to Krishna, to the degree you surrender to Prabhupada, Prabhupada's giving not only to that degree shelter. Actually, he's always giving much more because that's the nature of mercy and that's the nature of
Agree.
Krishna.
But that agreed. That's no problem. It all develops gradually in all of us.
Yeah,
But it
yeah.
that is what is shelter is finally. So yeah. Because Prabhupada is talking about here theoretically. See, in the Bhagavad Gita, he says
Yeah, even theoretically, yes.
that's what I'm saying. This theoretically is like accepting it. Yes, he is. And not doubting that what he otherwise there is no point, he says, in reading the Bhagavad Gita if it's just meant from a ordinary person, you're reading it.
Okay, here I am, right? And I think this is for all of us, most of us. 1995, reading Bhagavad Gita. I have absolutely no connection that I'm conscious of with Prabhupada, no appreciation for him, no understanding who he is, what he is, as good as God, not as good as good. In one sense, actually, for the first 2 years, I didn't even look at Prabhupada. I mean, I just read in the book, but I'm loving the philosophy and I'm loving what I'm learning about God. It was 2 years later, 2.5 years later, that then as things purify and develop, I'm like, wow, look what I've got. Who gave this to me? Prabhupada. Then the appreciation and connection to Prabhupada kind of started to blossom. But honestly, for the first 2 years, kind of Prabhupada wasn't in my head it was God. And I'm learning about God, who is God, who is God, Krishna. The appreciation and the understanding of who Prabhupada was came later. And I'm sure that's the same for most people because it's like, the initial coming in is the writer is a writer, a normal man like me, because you don't appreciate, you don't value what you have yet. You're just getting into it, you're getting purified. And then as you feel and experience what you're getting, then it's like, wow, and who's giving me this offer, this Prabhupada? So he's great, right? And then you start to hear more about Prabhupada. So for me, Prabhupada started to grow on me 2 years, 2.5 years later, and over the years, still now, I'm learning about him. Is growing, continuing to grow. And to be honest, still up to now, on one sense, the theory I'm feeling that I accept him as good as God, trying to worship him as good as God, but actually in actual life, maybe I don't see him as good as God, because if I did, I'd follow everything he said very nicely. I'd respect him very nicely. I don't respect and appreciate God on that level. So how can I do it with Prabhupada? So, that,
That's nice humility. So, Prabhu, it's very nice to hear your appreciation. Of course, it is good. we see that Adav Shraddha Tatha Sadhu Sangha Tatha Bhajana Kriya, So you were doing Sadhu Sangha, which means bhajan, little bit Bhajan Kriya starts, but actually the Bhajan Kriya, which Srila Prabhupada described, we have been reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, that verse, we've been quoting all the time. Adav Shraddha Tatha Bhajan Kriya. So he says Bhajan Kriya, in word to word, he talks about in that Bhajan Kriya association devotees changes to taking a shelter of the spiritual master and taking initiation from him, or something like that goes. So of course initially it was sadhu sangha, and then gradually then the appreciation of the bona fide spiritual master starts coming. So coming to the point about taking shelter with these four aspects equal to God, and in ISKCON devotees in general, you think that is equal, they are following that. I am saying that
I don't think, just to make that clear to people, it's not a theory. I see it and I live it.
you see that they are talking. Okay, so now let us talk about that. What does it mean to ordinary, when Srila Prabhupada says don't think Krishna as an ordinary person or even a very great personality, I first time when I read it, why not? I mean, he's a great personality, no? Because that's the kind of thinking in India people get, that he's a great person. But of course, Srila Prabhupada then he started explaining, and I accepted it that he's not a great personality, which means of this world. He is actually a spiritual personality. Now, the reason I say all this is that, like symptoms, you see, many when you talk to devotees, Srila Prabhupada became old, no? He became sick, no? He was deceased at that time. Oh, he got 3 heart attacks. He suffered so much. He, in his old age, he came to the US. And so many things like this. It's just interspersed with what one's belief system is, the seeing power is. I've seen it day in, day out, Prabhu. Not just with the leaders, even the normal devotees. Leaders are even worse. They literally, like literally say that these kind of thing. He made mistakes and everything. And policies are made in ISKCON based on this foundational thinking. Some of the, not all, some of the policies that Prabhupada could not know this thing. I can start quoting you so many things. I'm there in this litigation, like 20 years I've been fighting. I've
Okay, let me
line by line. I can
let me put aside the leaders who
find.
some cases can be motivated to twist and change it. Okay, but let's take Joe Bloggs at the bottom of the line. He's saying, wow, Srila Prabhupada at the age of 65, when most people would be thinking about retiring and staying in Vrindavan, he jumps on a ship and comes to America and has 2 heart attacks, and he's old and he has no money. Wow, what great. And I've seen that many times. I feel it myself sometimes. It just gives me, it's a little bit like the Christians saying, well, Jesus died for me, and they feel some indebtedness and motivation to serve Jesus. Although Prabhupada didn't like, anyway. But I've felt it for myself. I've seen people read about Prabhupada's journey to India, and they get, let's say, pushed the same way. And there's also another reason I'm clear why Srila Prabhupada came at 65 and not at 25. Because at 25, he'd be so energetic, young, men will be in force ego competition with him. But in an old age, as the old body, there's a reason, is that people can feel, oh, he's an old man, let me take care of him, let me serve him, let me protect him. It inspires devotional service, it inspires care. And by that, let's say, transcendental trick, they get benefit, they make progress. You know, Govinda Mataji took Prabhupada like her son and wanted to protect him, and this and that. You know, same way Krishna comes and plays the role of a child, and Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj take care of him. So, you know, he's not there offended. Hey, Mother Yashoda, what the hell are you doing? I'm God, you know. Why are you thinking I need protection and you need to pray for me? So, you know, I understand the aspect that senior leaders in ISKCON kind of use that to say, well, okay, he didn't know what he was doing. And that's offensive, definitely. But those who, that's a different group, I say, but generally the masses underneath that, and they're dealing with Prabhupada and seeing him in that all day, it's another, there's another chemistry, another thing going on there.
Oh, Prabhu.
I better shut up because I'm
No,
talking
no,
too
this is
much.
all good. But when you were speaking about Srila Prabhupada, I had to close my ears. See, this is unfortunate truth.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing.
Uh,
Prabhupada's not closing his ears. You are, that's you, but
this is all
Prabhupada is
like,
not.
okay, so why, whenever you say, no, whenever you, meaning people, devotees say all these things that even in his old age he went to the West and all these things, he's like, I cannot even like accept, like I can't even, like it's from the Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavad Gita. It is not the truth, the way to say it like that. He's not, Srila Prabhupada is not the material body like that, like which is under our, which we see, which is something like under the material modes of nature, that it is become old and like that. Totally not. He becomes,
That
when we see his older rupa like that, it is only by internal energy, his desire, Krishna desire. Okay, at this instant you become old, just so to attract people, material people. Something like that. It's not under our, it's not like we become old. So it's like a material sentiment being projected by people when they say on Srila Prabhupada, when they say, oh, became old and like that. He's totally he's a spiritual personality living in the spiritual world simultaneously while he's sitting with us. He has a spiritual body, which is something like the deity's body, which is, you can see deity's body is, I know from the material elements, you can see that it is constructed.
Can
But
I ask you a question just to cut through all of this?
no, no, this is important to see, Prabhu, because but this deity body is not spiritual body, because we see so many times the deities manifest in another form also simultaneously. Srila Prabhupada Krishna keeps saying that he is him directly. Similarly, Srila Prabhupada's body too is exactly the similar. So it's not. Have you seen Krishna become old? But but but
Yes.
Advaita Acharya becomes old. Why?
And so does Krishna. Krishna moves from his baby, from his birth, up to what,
Like,
17,
then he
18?
stops, and then he stops growing.
Okay, so this is the
Exactly like
question I wanted to ask you.
exactly like
So
Srila Prabhupada's body also.
please tell us why Prabhupada and Krishna manifested this, let's call it Leela, because we know it as Leela now in our advanced, mature understanding of Krishna. Why Srila Prabhupada manifested a time and stages where the body's getting old? Why didn't he just stay young at 18 then? What's the purpose?
It will be so nice to hear directly from Srila Prabhupada, just to keep the flow going. There is a very nice purport, and Pradyumna Prabhu or somebody can find that purport. It is in the seventh canto, where Prahlad Maharaj is actually praying to Dev, and he says to him exactly like this. I mean, there are words like that, and then the purport Srila Prabhupada explains. So Prahlad Maharaj says, "You sent me. I am your pure devotee, eternal servant. I'm your eternal servant. You sent me to this family of demons to take birth, to show them how to become a devotee." Srila Prabhupada in the purport, he explains this exact thing what you are bringing it up. He's a pure devotee, Srila Prabhupada, from his birth.
Can we read that?
Uh, I can. See, the thing is that this whole thing, if I can just complete the chain of thought, how he became devotee, is is like Shri Prabhupada was asked this question, like, if you're a pure devotee, how you can fly at this thing, that thing? Shri Prabhupada said, to be one with you, which he explains it in the purport, that the pure devotee, when he comes in this world to show, to make people devotees, he acts like an ordinary man, so that people learn from him how to become a devotee. Just like Prabhupada is eating, we are also eating. He is not eating like us, like their body and like the body is functioning to show us exactly like how our body is functioning, but it is not like our body, Prabhu. He doesn't become diabetic or
Prabhuji, none of us are saying he has a material body. Why are you talking like that? No one here, not in Oscar, not in us, is saying he has a material body.
what does it mean? Doesn't have a material body. What does it mean?
It means he has a
In
Satchitananda body
talks,
like Krishna.
right? But in talks, people don't understand that. That is the problem. And Leelamrita has wasted devotees' like consciousness horribly. If you go
For
through
me,
word by
for me,
word,
that's nonsense. That's nonsense. You're like saying, okay, Lilamrita now is more powerful than Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam.
because that is how people have accepted about Prabhupada. It's like drinking poison.
No,
Then
sorry.
it comes out in Bhagavatam classes, lectures, in the policy making, in management in the temples. It just seeped into that, like like poison flows through the veins, like blood flows through the veins, and the poison through the blood, it goes all the
So
over.
what's
Similarly,
okay? So what's happening then when they're reading Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam?
they
The Lilamritas had such a big influence on them that they're poison. And so what's happening with Bhagavad Gita? Nothing. No potency. Bhagavatam, nothing. Chanting Hare Krishna, nothing. Mangalari, nothing. The Lilamrita is like the most powerful poison.
so the thing is no that what we were just reading, the accepting shelter is the primary, of the guru. There is, see,
But we keep
holy name, one,
going
holy
we're
name,
going around in circles,
one
talking
is
about the same thing.
one is touching the holy name, one is touching the deities, taking prasadam, all that is touching and it's purifying for sure. The same 64 principles are talking about that all the time, that they are very purifying. But without without being under the shelter, they don't have the full potency. You don't get the potency because you have to please the spiritual master. That pleasure, when the spiritual master is pleased with that, taking shelter of him and accepting him as the person, and under his like conscious direction, conscious thought that this is my master, and under his direction I'm doing all these
Okay,
things. That
Nimai
direction.
Prabhu, can
So if I
you?
can finish this last this part,
Yeah.
that the we don't get, without that we don't get bhakti lata beej, we get karma mishra beej and other things. Srila Prabhupada explains.
That's what you say. That's what you say.
Prabhupada is saying like that unless the pleasure of unless the pleasure of spiritual mastery, one gets a bhakti lata, one doesn't get bhakti.
Okay. All right. All right.
That's
So
why
now
it
come.
becomes mixed, and that's why people don't get the full potency of pure devotional service. That's why it is stunted. That is what
Okay.
they are not. It's not that they are not enthusiastic, they are not, but it remains one level. To become leaders, preacher leaders, empowered, it is not possible in that consciousness, Prabhu. Generally,
You say
Prabhu, all of these,
again. All of this
ready to
stuff
be
is what you
corrected.
say, what you think.
No, no, I'm ready to be corrected. All these things I can show you by quotes, understanding all these things.
Babaji, everything you say so far, what I'm seeing is then some little like dancing and twisting is there of the thing. Okay, I just ask you this question. I'll shut up after this. Promise. Okay, you stand here telling me that they don't get shelter, they don't get shelter, acting and talking like you know what Prabhupada is doing with them. Okay, so I want to ask this question directly. Mr. John blogs down the road, reading this Bhagavad Gita, reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Wow, Prabhupada in his old age coming to America and saved me. Wow, great. Okay, chanting Hare Krishna, whatever. Do you know, just directly, please tell me, you or anybody actually, sorry to make it like to you, but you're the speaker here. So do you or anyone actually know that Prabhupada gives that person shelter or not? I say, even before you answer, you don't know.
Mm.
And I say that Prabhupada does give them shelter. Prabhupada does accept being their spiritual master, even though some silly Tom, Dick, and Harry may
How do
say,
you know? How do you know that?
because that's what I'm saying. See, I'm saying that as they're doing whatever they're doing anywhere in the world, they make spiritual progress. They become purified. They become enthusiastic. They do huge things, right? So they couldn't do that unless somehow they were being empowered, unless somehow Prabhupada was pleased. And I do not one bit see that Srila Prabhupada is sitting amongst us in our hearts or wherever he is and seeing Joe Blogs having a material concept of Prabhupada, thinking he's 65 when Prabhupada came in a 65-year-old body. Of course, some people are going to think he's 65 years old and he came. Yeah. And then going out on book distribution, going out on Harinam, cooking prasadam, offering it, giving it to people, doing all these things. And Prabhupada's going to say, nah, sorry, I'm not accepting you. I'm not giving you shelter.
So
and
you don't know
and
the
what
mind of Srila Prabhupada. What we can not, yeah, I cannot know, you cannot know. But what we
sure.
can do is see what he is writing. No, we can't pick up just from the air something sentimentally that, oh, this is what
No. Don't give me
can
that
do is
bullshit about air and sentimental. No.
no, but
We
we can
say in
pick up
our science is to judge by symptoms. Prabhupada said, if
based on
you eat food,
scriptures, but based on
huh?
the scriptures, no, because the who is observing the symptoms? We know we are also defective. So first we take
Okay, so
the
you can't understand if somebody's enthusiastic to distribute Prabhupada's books. Oh, I'm not sure. My
is the
mind,
motive behind
this
the
guy,
enthusiasm.
what?
So many people are so enthusiastic to consume.
Ramji, what's your enthusiasm? I don't know. I
So
can't judge. That's Prabhupada and Krishna judging.
exactly, no. So when you are saying because of the enthusiasm that you see, Prabhupada is giving shelter,
Absolutely.
not true. No, that may not
Ah.
be true because that person's motive may be something else inside the
Anyway,
other.
you know what? Please, all of us, let's stop focusing on other people,
Pradyumna,
them, they getting shelter, not
Let
getting
us
shelter.
let us
Let's focus
open
on
it for
ourselves.
different devotees to take the will. Let's both ourselves keep silent.
Yes. Hare Krishna Prabhu, Balrampu and Nivada, and everybody. So, Balrampu, you remember when we first time met in Vrindavan in 2015? I think we met first time at that time. So I was just come to know all these things. So when I entered, I was new one. So I was telling that yes, whom you are following? That I was saying that yes, I am following Srila Prabhupada, and you're in one sense I'm saying that I have taken shelter of Srila Prabhupada. So after I spoke these things to 2-3 person, they told me don't speak like this. One person told me. Then afterward you will not be able to enter in ISKCON Vrindavan. Hmm? So the thing is that it is mentioned that taking shelter. So but shelter, if we say okay, I will go to temple and I will say I have taken shelter of Srila Prabhupada, they will show some objection. No, like this shelter or initiation. And second thing you have mentioned that just like this Leelamrit, so they cannot touch Bhagavad Gita, they cannot change Bhagavad Gita. But Leelamrit, they have afterward devotees they have written. But in that seems that they have written that Srila Prabhupada because okay he has made mistake uh, many times in Bhagavad Gita after they have changed it. So these symptoms, this shows that they think that Srila Prabhupada is doing mistake or ordinary person. Yeah, I hope you're getting to.
Anyone else?
Yeah. You want me to respond to you,
Why
Prajumna
don't
Prabhu?
we let other people do and then one time you
Yeah,
respond? No?
I think
yeah.
Prajumna's asking me a
Okay,
question.
okay, sure, go ahead. Yeah.
Prajumna, do you want me to respond to that?
Yeah, bro. Just like when we say them
Yeah.
that we have taken shelter of Srila Prabhupada, they have
Hey,
objection that they will not.
one of the biggest things we're facing and we have to differentiate between is that some leaders in power, they have a motive, sure, and they want to keep their motivated position and they start to teach down. But the masses, you know, each person is having their own personal relationship with Prabhupada and Krishna. And even secretly, there could be many that may come to you and say, hey, Pradyumna, don't say you're taking shelter here, otherwise you won't be allowed in here, you won't be allowed in here, you can't serve the deities, right? So, you know, keep that for yourself secretly and just do this, do this. At the moment, unfortunately, it's like that. But for us to say and think that some motivated leaders in positions and everybody, the masses in ISKCON are all the same, that I fully disagree, because that's not the case. Yeah, sure, you know, in the Ritvik groups also there'll be people motivated. Okay, sorry.
Anyone else? Please share your views.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
A very interesting discussion, actually. I was really enjoying the discussion.
Balram makes it always very interesting.
Actually, very thought-provoking, topics are being raised, which actually we keep on thinking, and we can actually go back to Prabhupada and books, especially, and when we read, having these thoughts sometimes in our mind, actually it helps. Sometimes some answers clicks through some of the paragraphs also, that what Prabhupada is narrating and what Prabhupada vision is actually in few things. But uh, I would just like to add here actually uh, to the point where we are discussing that will Prabhupada accept the people in ISKCON, or they will be rejected. So actually, first thing is, we are not, I mean, this is my again, I believe I am not at platform to judge anyone, because this is far beyond my own, limits. This is something which is between Prabhupada and the disciple who is being serving or practicing bhakti or Krishna consciousness, reading books, doing japa. And Prabhupada has many times also said that uh, actually once a devotee asked, right, that Prabhupada, what is the guarantee that at the time of death we will remember Krishna? What if we don't remember Krishna? So Prabhupada, if I remember, he said that uh, Krishna is not oppor. What is the exact statement? I'm missing that. Um, there's a particular word he used, that Krishna is not like that. If you have solved properly, he will. Anyways, so the point is, many of the devotees, if you see the past, when we are speaking about some of the tall leaders in ISKCON, uh, which are now in GBC or whatever they are, in whichever capacity they are serving or have, but we cannot take away their services, what they have done for Prabhupada or to the entire society, right? Uh, Now the question comes whether they will Prabhupada accept them or not. That is, we cannot judge. And going forward, the new devotees who are being initiated by so-called gurus or self-proclaimed gurus, that also we cannot determine very clearly, because in a way they are being misguided, not not purpose. Mm, they are being misguided by someone who is in the institution of Prabhupada, right? They are being cheated in the name of Prabhupada. Then how can we say that Prabhupada may accept or may not accept? That is something beyond our jurisdiction. Our agenda in any sphere of life should be I think I'm just trying to put it 2 points here. One is spiritual life is self journey, right? It is not to track the journey of others, how much, what others are doing. Because if you go into that business, then life becomes miserable for all of us. So first thing is to see how much journey we have covered, how much detachment we have developed, how much Krishna consciousness we have poured in our lives actually. And second thing is how much we are personally serving Srila Prabhupada or his mission to achieve something. Other than that, we don't know why Prabhupada became old or shown that kind of leela. I remember once somebody asked these kinds of questions with Prabhupada. Prabhupada said that once you go back to Goloka, ask Krishna. So, same thing we can ask Prabhupada once we reach there. That Prabhupada, why this kind of leela? Then many questions will be answered. We are still at practicing stage. We cannot understand the transcendental leelas of Lord or his pure devotees.
See, this taking shelter, no? That is, one is Srila Prabhupada giving shelter. But what we were reading was we taking shelter. Like Krishna is always ready to give shelter. Srila Prabhupada is giving shelter always to anybody who is coming. You know, ye yatha mam prapadyante. Actually, we take one step, we may take 100 steps. But the point is that are we taking shelter? You know, how we
Yeah.
are, so that makes a difference, no, in our progress. Otherwise, why is it that some people advance, some people don't advance, some people advance faster? Why? You know, it just depends on us, no? It's not just Srila Prabhupada, it's free will, no? So are we taking shelter according to what Acharyas have told? This is how you take shelter.
Mhm.
You know, one has to accept him as a spiritual person, not half material, half spiritual, which is what the Leelamrita has permeated all around in the. I mean, and it'll be so nice to go through Leelamrita review of Yashodanand Prabhu. Very, very, I mean, this is really wakes one up, like really makes one understand, my God, what was I thinking? From Srila Prabhupada, he just keeps on comparing from Leelamrita with Srila Prabhupada's own words in the Bhagavatam, again and again. And all
So
our,
there is some kind of review like that, Prabhu?
yeah, Leelamrita review, no? There is very nice, I've been posting it. Shashodanand Prabhu compiled it in 1996. And then I mean, I have kind of built upon it. A couple of more articles have written. It'll be so good to go through them. I know, such
Absolutely.
points are so nice to finish that off from our consciousness. Leo Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandavas Pranams to all the devotees, my humble obeisances to all the Vaishnavas. So, in regards to the whole conversation and the topic, my best input I could say is my concept of Prabhupada is, from what I understand, is he's an ocean of mercy. That's the best way I could put it. And in that introduction where it states, even theoretically, um, you and Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I don't know if that could also be applied for devotees um, in the current ISKCON structure, where they may be as well just seeing Prabhupada as theoretical, and they could have this type of um, not the proper way of seeing Prabhupada as it should, um, but as well as how the sincerity could come across, and Prabhupada so merciful. He comes across in so many ways. He talks to um, brahmacharis a certain type of way that he wouldn't talk to grihastas in a certain type of way. He would talk to neophytes a certain type of way. He wouldn't talk to the sannyasis a certain type of way. So Prabhupada would definitely, since just getting to know Prabhupada in so many different facets, I would say he would definitely be reaching to those people even. That's just my concept. I don't know if that's the grand reality of it, but just seeing how he applied his presence in my individual life. And so there's a couple things too where I've seen where there's a quote that he when he spoken to Hansadutta Prabhu on the occasion of the appointment as the lifetime BBT trustee. This was in September 1974. It says, "The movement may fail, the temples may fall, the devotees may fail, but my books will live forever." So, as Prabhupada being that perfect being, I would say, he was managing a lot, as well as I was listening to a podcast on folk with the devotee from ISKCON Bangalore, His Grace Savyakta Narasimha Prabhu. And so he was also talking about there was a congregation in Peru where they had the current ISKCON structure foundation, and one of the gurus fell down and they were lost and they didn't know what to do. And so then by Krishna's, I guess, arrangement, they came into encounter, and then they discussed about the actual July 9th, terrific initiation. And so that kind of, so the best example I could say is that they were following what the current ISKCON structure is. It fell down, but then it came to get built up with the proper foundation. And so another analogy I could also put is when Krishna left the Yadavas, all his family, he himself arranged a way where they eventually, they were all annihilated and destroyed. And in that analogy with Prabhupada, he would say that all the devotees that came to him, they weren't, they were definitely from, some say, I guess it's up to interpretation, demigods, heavenly planets. Some even came to say, even from the spiritual world, like Kunta. So this is the perspective where I'm trying to analyze it, and that's how I try to perceive it, because I see the sincerity in everyone's heart, and they're following this certain type of structure, and this type of structure, by Prabhupada's standards, it wouldn't stay by itself. So, this, I try to back this up by Shastra, but I'm very limited at capacity, because this is just my viewpoint, where I don't know if this could tie everything in, or maybe, maybe this could assist in some type of way.
Thank you, Prabhu. Anyone else? Yes. Boss.
So, hi, Krishna.
Thank you.
Yeah, very interesting topic, very interesting points. Yeah, it's so much that could be said, I think, or that I see, or could say to many things here. But yeah, let's. So what I actually, I think what I wanted to bring as a thought is, so the main discussion here is a bit always like, okay, to figure out, okay, do we really see, or do we see progress, or is that progress, is that that we see in devotees from the GBC Society. Are they somehow do they have somehow the shelter of Srila Prabhupada as well, although they accept other persons as their Diksha gurus? And so my main thought here is that, so we know that all the practices and rules and regulations are mainly to break apart, right, our material ego, to break our material minds, basically, right, to clear all that up. And right, so we can, of course, display devotional, or what seems to be devotional qualities, but the question is, can this also be just another really subtle layer of a material ego, right? So am I like a pseudo devotee, right? It's just really. So at which point can we understand, or can we see that, oh, this is really genuine and an internal devotional quality from the soul, or this is just another mask, right, of a ego personality that we attach. And it looks like similar, or is it even possible to have that, right? So is it possible to have this devotional ego? And I mean, one observation is, devotees who followed also, Srila Prabhupada's books and everything, and have accepted another person as a diksha and shiksha guru, maybe. Like internally they accepted that, right? And then suddenly after 10, 20 years, this person that they accepted and put all their trust in is no longer accepted as a spiritual leader because of a fall down. And then what happens with these devotees following this personality and and trusting them? Will suddenly this what will happen to their progress and to their devotional display, right? Will it suddenly crumble away? Will they suddenly get again to the material platform and display all kinds of material attachments that everyone thought like, oh, it should be already washed away, it should be already be pure, right? They should already be on anantanavritti. Right, so that's I think the question here, and I mean it's on an individual basis for sure. We can't generalize that. That's always a difficulty. But we can definitely say that this kind of observation could be made in the past, right? So in that sense, yeah. I mean, I think really the main question is, main question is it possible to display devotional qualities, but there's actually still just a nice material ego that people think, that we think, that we even might perceive as devotional, but in fact they are not in that sense. That they're actually just nice material activities. So I don't know if that made sense. So that's just my point, to bring this into the discussion, that maybe this point of view might solve something here. So I would like to hear Balaram Prabhu's point of view on that.
I mean, definitely that kind of thing is there, and it will be there from day one, where we kind of, I'm a carpenter, actually. I'm a carpenter builder, so give me some woodwork, some carpentry building work to do, and I love it, and I'm doing it, and I'm enjoying it. So actually, from my side, let's say it's material, because I'm just enjoying it, and then every hour I remember, oh, I'm doing it for Krishna. So, that kind of thing is there, but more important than, in one sense, more important than what consciousness I'm doing it with, which is also very important actually, is okay. Now, how does Prabhupada take that? How does Krishna take that? What do they do with that? Oh, you weren't purely thinking of me. You weren't purely devoted to me all that time. You're painting the house and building the house. So reject, cross, no, reject, reject, reject. Of course not. Putana comes to purely, totally kill Krishna. And he says, well, never mind all that. I'm just going to find something. I want to deliver her. I got to find something. Okay. Nothing actually in real, nothing. But she came as my mom. Okay. I'm accepting her as my nurse and deliverer, right? Something like that. So Srila Prabhupada, of course, knew, of course, we're saying Prabhupada is a pure Mahabhagavat devotee. And we're talking about who Prabhupada is. So, of course, he knows who Tamal is. He knows who this person is, this person is, this person is, this person is. He doesn't, in one sense, doesn't care what material motives they have. He's saying, okay, I'm going to manipulate that they love to be number one, they love to be the leader, they want to be seen as leaders, they want to be worshipped. Okay, let me kind of give them the sweet and engage them in such service that my books get out, my temples get built, my society grows bigger. And for that, if they help me, I'm going to deliver. I don't care about the other stuff, which is exactly what we're seeing in real life happening. Devotees do it. And then the same continues now. Prabhupada is not dead. The same thing, the same mercy, actually even more mercy is being expanded from Prabhupada and Chaitanya. But, okay, who's this little guy between me and this devotee? I'm not even taking anything seriously. I'm going to deal with him, whatever. Still, I'll deliver him. But Mr. Fred has seemingly, in his limited understanding, been told that this system of mine, it's my system in ISKCON, he believes it, he's innocent, blah, blah, he accepts I'm man. But he's reading me. He's following me. He's taking shelter of me. I'm giving him shelter. I'm going to deliver him. Of course. Even if he has 5% sincerity and whatever, Prabhupada carries the rest, like he did with his own people. There are many, anyway, no need to go into all that, but there were many people that got initiated, Prabhupada just 5 minutes. They came and they said, I want to take initiation. There's a ceremony. Okay, I'll give you initiation. So Prabhupada was just anything, any way to engage people in devotional service, to accept that and somehow have an excuse, a reason to take them back to Godhead. So, I kind of don't see how at all, how Prabhupada would reject anyone's service if they have an inkling of reading Prabhupada's books with a Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, or giving out a book, giving out prasadam, coming to the temple, any little service. He's not going to reject them. Giving shelter, and he'll continue. Just helping way, tricking them, whatever. It'll just continue. Like a loving father, even material loving father wouldn't reject.
What is the whole point of reading books or anything if everything is so cheaply, everything will get, then what is the whole point of struggling, doing this, doing that?
We
Why?
never said take it cheap. We're not talking
why-
about taking anything cheaply.
No,
Prabhuji, we're not
but
talking about that.
But it sounded also to me like, okay, the mercy is so great, right? I mean, we know there's a process. We don't 100%, no one really understands it 100%, because obviously, because there's confusion, there's a different Siddhanta basically then. And so that, but it doesn't, it's not problematic because the mercy of the Lord and his devotees is so big that they will deliver you anyway. And my point, I would say, yes, probably true. Oh, yes, true. Not probably, true. Question is always like the time span, It doesn't mean, and we also probably will agree, right? Life is eternal. So maybe you're not delivered after this material life. Maybe it takes another 1 million, but you started the process, right? And devotional service is never, it's never nil, right? It never goes away. So even if you have at the beginning a wrong concept, you didn't really understand, you know, who to consciously serve. You might have served a demonic person that you thought like, okay, he's my connection to the Lord, and in fact energetically it's not, because this person used your attention and your energy for himself, for selfish reasons. But still, there's still a percentage of some because you some devotion and you have the benefit of that, right? But maybe not in this life, maybe not after that life. Maybe the mercy is not that big that after this life you already get deliverance. Be it takes another 100. So in that sense, I would agree, right? So mercy is always there, and once you start devotional service, you will constantly be, or we will constantly be challenged and understand it more and more, and really achieve these different levels. So that would be my take on it, because I would agree then with Nimai Pandit Prabhu that, I mean, we have to have a proper understanding of the processes and how exactly it works, how the whole universe, how yoga, how really consciousness works to get free again of material consciousness. And there's so many sidetracks and so many traps and everything that can happen on the way, and everyone has good intentions. I mean, that's one of the well-known sayings, right? Good and the pathway to hell is path with good intentions, right? I have good intentions, but I completely go in the wrong direction. So good intentions doesn't really bring us to the goal, right? Okay.
But Dimra Prabhu, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, just like we are saying that they have also taken shelter, and everybody. Then what's the point of discussion? Na? Because everybody is following Krishna. Then there will be no endeavor. Just like that Bhagavatam says, Trivena Bhakti Yogana. Very quickly, one should follow the pure devotional service. So, if everybody is following in some part or some Sukrati or like this, then what is the value of discussing like pure devotional service or Guru Tattva? Or if all groups they have taken shelter of they have taken shelter of pure devotee, then there is no need to discuss if everything will happen automatically. So just like is that GBC, they have also taken shelter, as we are discussing little bit, they have taken shelter. And those who say that they are followers of Srila Prabhupada, they have also taken shelter. Then what is the point of discussion if everybody, because very quickly, because karma, gyan, everything, and that Krishna is recommending that sarv dharman parityaja. Quickly we should, the highest thing we should take shelter of.
Should
So
this,
that is.
Prabhu?
Okay.
Yeah, so Prabhu is saying that what is the need of discussion. So I just wanted to put it, maybe this was not clear, that so when we say that, means when I had said that uh, they have taken shelter of ISKCON, Prabhupada will guide them or maybe accept them or not. That is not our position to judge. So it doesn't mean that we should follow their path. It doesn't mean that what they are doing is correct and we can follow anyways. Whatever has to happen rightly. So one thing is clear, that whatever path they have chosen or whatever they are following, there's there is nothing inauspicious in that path, right? They are not doing anything inauspicious. They are chanting, they are doing Guru Puja every day. Whatever they are doing. But for us who are trying to understand the truth in reality as it is, we should not get deviated thinking that let us follow the herd. Whatever will happen, will happen.
Vashish Prabhu, you want to say something?
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Devi.
Sattanam Prabhu.
Actually, I've been listening and I've been reading the WhatsApp messages, and even I've shared in the chat in the Zoom meeting now. I've shared a message. You know, it's becoming a bit confusing, kind of, right? Because I don't know if some of us are playing devil's advocate, or I can't understand or read the mind of the people, right? To understand the mind of people or what's in their heart. Like sometimes we tend to speak some very nice philosophy, and the other on another occasion we are simply contradicting ourselves. So it becomes quite difficult to stay what to be consistent, kind of what I've observed. I'm sorry if I'm being a
Prabhuji,
bit.
I think people are not kind of getting clearly what you say, and it's okay for us. We don't have any, at least for me, and I'm sure for others, Nimai Bali. You can use names and you can say directly what's this or what's it. And this is why we're having this discussion, to just bring out everything. And it's cool, it's good, it's part of what we want actually. So you can go ahead, Prabhuji. Just use names that this person said this and now he's saying this, and
No,
what's this? I don't.
no, it's not. No, it's not okay to be saying this. But I think we all should, in order to be discussing all these things, like, right, we need to have a minimum understanding of basic things. Like since a few days or weeks, Nimai Prabhu sent this copy, and even I think in earlier WhatsApp group, this compilation was shared, right? The Leelamrita review. I don't know amongst, there are 10 of us here right now, around 10 of us, yeah. So I don't know how many of us have read this Leelamrita review individually or in group. They've tried to read it, try to know what's in the compilation and try to understand it. So things will become clearer. And when because for Nimai Pandit Prabhu to have to be saying few things, because he has been reading all these things and when sharing with us, sometimes our Kali Yuga mind, we don't have everything in mind, like, okay, this is from where this quote Prabhupada said this, or from this book, here it is. But we have been reading since decades Prabhupada's book, or we have been hearing devotees quoting uh, quoting Prabhupada's books or even letters. Sometimes the letters also are very, very explicit, more explicit than the book itself. For example, about pure devotees. We have been talking about pure devotees. Nimai Pandit Prabhu shared something about pure devotee. But there are two types of pure devotee. One is a Nitya Siddha devotee, right? From Prabhu, from this compilation of Yashodhan Prabhu, what Leelamrita review, right? Like there are two types of pure devotees. It's quoted from Chaitanya Charitamrita, I think. There are two
Adi
types of pure devotee. Huh?
147. Adi 140.
Yeah, yeah. Like the Parishad, like confidential associate, like the Nitya Siddha, he is one, and the other one, the neophyte devotee who is trying to follow the Guru. Sincerely, he's trying to follow a sadhak. He's also called. He can also be called as a pure devotee, right? And now, when we and just like we have been talking about the mainstream devotees, and let's take for example the Gaudiya Math devotees also, like Gaudiya Math devotee or Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur disciples, and they are initiated disciples. One can ask whether the whatever Gaudiya Math, Chaitanya Saraswati Math, or I don't know what Math Prabhupada's God brothers have created, and they are still, because if one goes to Mayapur, if one goes to Vrindavan, Jagannath Puri, you will find many of these Vaishnavas, okay, who are not necessarily, or those who are directly in the line of Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur or Bhaktivedanta Thakur. There are other branches also, right? But Prabhupada has given instructions, clear instructions about about the bona fide Vaishnavas, right? We don't judge them, but we should use our discrimination power based on Prabhupada's books. So, okay, forget about other Vaishnava groups. Just on regarding Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur disciples. If one asks this question, whether Sridhar Maharaj or other Prabhupada's God brothers, were they authorized to give initiation? So we being Prabhupada Anugas, trying to follow Prabhupada, what if someone asks us this question, what will be our answer? Balaram Prabhu, any idea? If someone asks you, okay, you know,
Vashish Prabhu, thank you
yeah,
so much for the question, but it kind of seems completely out of context that we have been discussing. The main topic today seems to have just come out, let's say naturally, is the idea that ISKCON devotees are full of poison and not getting the shelter of Prabhupada and shouldn't be associated with, completely should be shunned.
no, Prabhu.
Yeah,
I'm
actually,
sorry, I'm
that's
sorry.
the
No, see, actually, it is related. It is related. Why? Because one, perhaps you are not associated with Prabhupada's God Brothers society, like the Saraswati Math or Chaitanya Math or Gaudiya Math. Even they also can be found externally. They are doing bhajan, they are chanting, they are into prasad distribution, they are into making people's devotees. That's why this question was asked. And regarding this about taking shelter of Prabhupada, it's not black and white, Prabhu. There are different shades, there are different gradations of taking shelter of Prabhupada. Taking shelter of Prabhupada, in my opinion, is accepting instructions of Prabhupada. And now Prabhupada doesn't have one or two or five instructions. He has many, many instructions, institutional directives, many instructions regarding deity worship, many things, right? So it's not about black and white. There are many gradations of it, there are many shades of it. See, what was the idea which I can contribute now? Maybe Nimai Pandit Prabhu, he knows my mind quite. He can elaborate on what I've been trying to say.
No, very nice. Yeah, of course. I don't think we are talking about complete rejection, or I think this is just a hyperbolic.
Yes, that's all.
Yeah.
We don't
Well,
reject them completely, no.
it is not a rejection of what Prabhupada is thinking or not thinking. It is us what we should show to Srila Prabhupada. That it is then up to him how much he gives. That is all up to him, no? How much mercy he wants to give, what the soul has done before, how much he's for. That is all not in our power, no? What
Exactly.
is in our power is to do what the acharyas have instructed us to do. Show him that we are sincere to want to reach Krishna. Actually, I wanted to read this, and of course, as you're saying, gradation, of course, ye yatha mam prapadanta, I keep saying that it is only a stunted thing, not because of, philosophically it is stunted. Now, each individual, Srila Prabhupada picked from there. We don't know all of these things. It is between the soul and Prabhupada. But stunted philosophically, because if you one is not accepting Srila Prabhupada as, or have material conception of Srila Prabhupada, then there will be doubts in what he says and in actions. It's automatic, no? That's why it is written that you should accept him as good as God. Because of these issues, that the doubts will be there, and then everything will not be revealed. So if one is not being revealed, the plan of Krishna is not being revealed to one, how will one becomes an instrument? It is there directly in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is saying, you become my instrument. I'm telling you my plan. And Prabhupada writes in the purport there that the plan of Krishna is revealed. That is how one becomes an empowered servant. That's exactly the words in Bhagavad Gita in the 11th chapter, that you become my instrument and fight. I have already won the war. So that revelation, if it comes according to the how much one is accepting, has firm faith. And that's how I was saying, the as an instrument preacher in the world, it you can't become like the full if you don't have the instrument has to come from the top, no? If you're not, everything is not being revealed, how you can become a worldwide instrument of Krishna? So I just wanted to share this, Vashish Prabhu, 1 minute. This
Can I
particular.
ask you a question on that point? Why can't you be an instrument of Krishna? To the degree that you surrender, to that degree, he will use you.
Definitely. I'm not saying it.
And he is
I'm
using
talking
you.
about stunted progress. I'm not saying no progress, no. I was only meaning in terms of what Srila Prabhupada's purports are talking about, delivering the world, Paschatya Desha Tarina. He's not talking about something. Desha meaning countries, no? That kind of the volume, the quantity, and the scope of Srila Prabhupada's statements in the Bhagavatam, and what he has said directly, is delivering the world next 10,000 years. The sattva, the sattva, the that whole consciousness has to come, no, of Krishna consciousness around the world. Now that consciousness of a full instrument only, how you can do without becoming an instrument to that level, worldwide level, no? Here is one thing he's talking about. This is from the 17th chapter of Nectar of Devotion, ecstatic love. Elevation to this stage of ecstasy can be possible in two ways. One way is constant association with pure devotee. That is what we have been reading till now. No? The other way is by the special mercy of Krishna, or by the mercy of a pure devotee of Krishna. Elevation to the ecstatic stage of life is generally attained through association with pure devotees, while elevation to that stage by the special mercy of Krishna or his devotee is very rare. The purport is that one should execute devotional service rigidly in the association of devotees, so that there will be certainty in raising oneself to that ecstatic position. In special cases, of course, there is special favor from Krishna. And although we should always expect that, we should not sit idly and simply wait for Krishna's special mercy. The regular duties must be performed. It is just as when sometimes it is found that a person who never attended school or college may be recognized as a great scholar, or an honorary degree from great universities may be offered to him. But this does not mean that one should avoid school and expect to automatically receive an honorary degree from some university. Similarly, one should devotedly execute the regulative principles of devotional service, and at the same time hope for Krishna's favor or for his devotees' favor. Now, this regulative principle of devotional service, that's what we were reading in the 6th chapter and 7th chapter. The first is accepting the shelter of a bona fide spiritual master in the proper manner. Yes, Vashish Prabhu.
Yes. Yeah, so yeah, I forgot what I was about to say, but about maybe about accepting the instructions or
Instrument?
wrong.
Instrument?
Or no, it's just not instrument, or about the mainstream scone, whether about mainstream scone, whether I forgot. I already forgot. No.
Sorry, I will try to remember to not. I'm sure you will remember again. Balram Prabhu, you want to say?
Yeah. You've mentioned this word in the proper manner. And I fully agree with you that the proper manner is needed eventually and gradually, and that will come. Everybody more or less has talked here, has shown that things happen gradually, like a child starting to walk, and we know the Krishna conscious whole lifestyle is a gradual development and progress of spiritual life. So, for the life of me, I can't see newish people accepting Prabhupada as who he is and what he is in the proper manner. But I absolutely see that gradually over time, as they read and they appreciate what they're getting, I don't care who's in front of them, physically or not physically, blah, blah, blah. As they read and as they take up more of that, they absorb more from the reading, which is natural, that's going to happen. Their appreciation and their proper manner to see and accept Prabhupada is coming and will come. Absolutely. It doesn't matter any, sorry to use this word, Tom, Dick, and Harry, mixed conditional devotee is in between them and Prabhupada and saying he's a Diksha Guru. Prabhupada just sees beyond that. Yeah, this person is.
Prabhupada sees beyond that. I take exception. How are you going in Prabhupada's mind like that, like this? Like,
Well, same way you do with many things. I'm also speaking from,
like you
let's
have to
say,
put it on
experience or relationship with Prabhupada. Huh?
just basis on the scripture, no? Like he has written, he says he thinks like that.
You
And
just read the scripture and it said special mercy of Prabhupada. What is that special
that is
mercy?
in special cases.
Yes,
And
we're
how
all special
no,
cases.
he
Kali
doesn't say
Yuga.
we are all special cases. We read that, let's read that again. He doesn't say that we are all special cases like that. He says actually, while elevating
Kali Yuga,
that stage
you're
by
all
the
special
special
cases.
mercy of Krishna or his devotee is very rare. It's not, he
Yes.
says,
Continue to read. Continue to read at the bottom.
he says we should expect that.
Ah,
But
ah.
but this does not mean one should avoid school and
Good.
expect
Correct. Perfect. We should expect it, but we should get off our ass and fight. Not like Christians. Oh, never mind.
but
This
how
is what.
say Srila Prabhupada gives it. He is himself writing it. It is rare. You can't really, you can expect it, but you can't say Prabhupada gives it just freely like this, no?
Why not talk? No one is saying that anymore. Why are you expanding this? No one is saying many things that you're saying. Nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying sit on your ass, do nothing. No one is saying, oh, Prabhupada will just give it freely. Of course, I have never seen any devotee in that mood. Prabhupada's teaching us. Okay, expect it, but don't sit on your ass and be lazy. Get up and do something, deserve it. And,
So
we're
start
always.
taking shelter, no? That's the
Of course.
properly, as is written there in Bhagavata. And right now we were reading.
Okay. You develop some nice people that will eventually come and accept Prabhupada
Me and
in the
you
proper
and all
manner.
these things, no? It is, we have to go by the philosophy, no, Prabhu? We have to base everything first like that. Otherwise, they become sentimental. I'm not, this is not me saying Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati says this thing.
Prabhuji, you're taking a position right now to say you'll never go to ISKCON temple, you never associate with devotees, they're full of poison, you stay far away. I'm completely, utterly, totally against that consciousness. Understand that clearly.
World.
So
It's a
that's
nice
why.
word, but
Huh?
we are talking philosophically here, not that I'm telling you, you don't go, you become bad. I know you are a special mercy case because of the way, first of all, your
No,
consciousness
you think that. This is what you think, and that's okay.
says that, no, because Srila Prabhupada said that, not that I am thinking. He
No,
says
you're
one,
saying I'm a special case because I'm preaching in Muslim countries.
because he says,
That's what you think.
Srila Prabhupada says, not that I'm thinking, how would I know unless Srila Prabhupada says so? How I can,
Prabhuji, Prabhupada said, those who preach in Muslim countries, I take the dust from their feet. Fine. And then you're saying, I'm getting that mercy. That's you. Maybe I'm not getting that mercy. So that's why I say it's here, and we can just leave that topic completely. But what I am saying is, well, what we should be doing actually is analyzing Srila Prabhupada's heart, and this is part of what I really want to learn about Guru Tattva, is this kind of stuff. Okay, how is Prabhupada actually dealing with all this situation, you know, in all aspects? And this is one aspect of Prabhupada. How is he dealing now with his movement? Some of his sons being what's the word?
Disobedient.
Disobedient, thank you.
Deviant.
Disobedient and deviant to him, that's some of his children, and some younger, more innocent children, disciples, following them. Oh, well, the GBC are the ultimate authority, so that means Prabhupada saying it, so I don't want to risk breaking, let me just follow it, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, this happened, what to do? And they're all trying to like, and Prabhupada is sitting there, what's he going to do? No, sorry, go away, reject. No. People are reading Prabhupada, people are associated with Prabhupada, people are following Prabhupada, and Prabhupada's giving them shelter. That's
Okay, Vashish Prabhu wants to say something.
Okay, let Vashish Prabhu.
His hand long back, yeah.
Okay, well, before I forget it again, it just came in mind, so I'll share with you. Just like you were saying, as good as God, the difficulty, like you know, I've been talking to Balaram Prabhu maybe 1 or 2 years back. Okay, so I know his mind a bit, and I recently started talking to you, and you have shared many things, and I know about you also, and I can see the where you devotees are not in line, kind of, or quite opposed to each other, right? So just like you,
sorry,
in your
just to say
in your,
that,
in your
please, listen, I love Nimai Pandit. He's my elder brother. I respect him. I love him. We
I
share
know,
many common things, the same thing. It's
yes, yes,
just some things we have some differences,
few
and
things, yeah, few things,
very thankful that he allows me to express
to
this. Because I
express
tell you
yourself.
what, this discussion with my thoughts, probably no other senior devotee would accept. They'll immediately tell me shut up or block me or this, whether it be this group or that group. So it's really, really nice to have such a group where everyone is free and given the space to express their doubts and
Yes,
their experiences. So it's not,
yes,
I'm not.
yes. No, I understand. I understand. So just like you were saying, Prabhu, like Nimai Prabhu always say, right, okay, you have to accept Prabhupada as good as God, right? And you also say that, okay, in other camp, also in mainstream, they accept Prabhupada as good as God. But now the thing is, in mainstream school, they accept other people also as good as God, you know? And these people, they are, in Nimai Pandit Prabhu's perspective, these other persons whom the innocent devotees are accepting as good as God, these people are unqualified and unauthorized, right? Maybe here you are having some difficulty in kind of, okay, these people are accepting unauthorized and unqualified people, they're as good as God. You may not have difficulty with that, but Nimai Pandit Prabhu has lots of problem with that. That's what I observe, right? And now the thing is, you say, like you know, there are some of them in mainstream ISKCON, they are doing lots of services, which I agree with you. Even in Mauritius also, I have many friends, okay? I have many mainstream friends. I go there, right? But there's a line of demarcation. You have to be very, very, very cautious, careful when listening to them or when talking to them, because there are many. If I don't know whether you have read this Lilamrita review. Have you read the Lilamrita review? Nimai Pandit Prabhu, have you read? No. Balaram Prabhu, have you read the Lilamrita review?
I
Have
haven't
you
read the
read the
Lilamrita. I haven't read the Lilamrita. So why
Exactly.
am I going to read the Lilamrita review?
Exactly.
No. But no, even if you
The
haven't read,
Lilamrita
even if you haven't,
is written by a devotee. I'm reading
yeah,
Prabhupada's books.
Satsvarup Maharaj. You know what? Even I have not read Lilamrita, but Satsvarup Maharaj, even I have not read that. But I have read Leela review by Yashodhan Prabhu. I can tell you, Prabhu, many devotees in ISKCON, your friends, they may have read Leela Amrita by Swarup Maharaj. And this has there are many many subtle poison which are it's all about we are following this bhakti path mainly to develop our consciousness, to develop our Krishna consciousness. Now, if in our consciousness these blockades, these obstacles, or these poisons have been slowly embedded in our mind. So and when we have been reading in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the first few verses, right? It's about unadulterated or pure devotional service that we are talking about, right? So it becomes difficult, okay, in kind of difficult in accepting new things or digesting new things where these impurities or kind of adulterations has already crept in, so it becomes difficult for me. I'm not telling you not meet your friends and all, but thing is you have to, and you're saying that you have not been empowered or you have not been given mercy by Prabhupada. No, you have been given, but what Nimai Pandit Prabhu and what myself also can or trying to say is that try to read these things, you'll get even more mercy, right? You'll get more mercy, you strengthen yourself, and I hope you're trying to make others also accept Prabhupada as a Diksha Guru, because to accept others as Diksha Guru is not pure devotional service right now. But that should be very clear, distinct, and understood by all of us present in this group now, right? To accept any other person except Prabhupada as a Diksha Guru, that's not pure devotional service, right? That's not the proper consciousness we need to have or we should be having if we want to progress in our Krishna consciousness, right? Anyway,
Again,
that's all.
you're making a statement on behalf of Prabhupada, and I kind of really
No,
take
Prabhu. Whatever I'm saying, like I said earlier, just because I don't have a photographic memory, I don't have a computer mind where I said, okay, Prabhupada said this, that, and I'm showing it, and I just show it in front of you because I've been reading these things since almost a decade ago, more than a decade. That's why I'm talking like that. It's not I've heard something.
You just stated, which is fine, and I respect your statement, and we should hear it, that these people who accept somebody else as their guru, they're not performing pure devotional service, or they're not performing devotional service. Devotional service, pure devotional service. It's kind of almost
Unalloyed. They are. It's a shadow, not shadow, but it's not pure like Krishna wants.
Okay. So you're saying that, and you're saying that on behalf of Prabhupada, but I want to put out the question. What if Prabhupada is sitting there saying, no, I'm accepting their service as pure devotional service? They're doing what you're doing. What are you doing? Distributing my books, cooking prasadam, serving the deities, making devotees, preaching to people about me, blah, blah, blah. And they're doing the same thing. So, we do accept there's a problem, and we're trying to help educate people and make friendship with people to bring them to accept Prabhupada directly as their Diksha Guru. But we have this situation in Prabhupada's movement, ISKCON, as we know it. So, many people are coming and joining and take initiation from these people because they believe that's the system. I myself, I wasn't attracted to this guru, but I was told to take initiation from him in 1997, Harikesh Swami. He fell a year later, which was great, wonderful. And before that, I was serving Prabhupada. In the middle, I was serving Prabhupada. Afterwards, I was serving Prabhupada. So it kind of didn't make much difference, let's say. So, Prabhupada, we're saying what we think Prabhupada is doing, rejecting them or this or that or that. What about if Prabhupada is sitting there saying, okay, I don't take this middle guy seriously. That initiation is done on my behalf. I'm taking them as my disciples, and they're serving me.
What else is the definition of sorry, it is so hard, but I'm little like, what else is mental speculation? No, we have to base it on scriptures. No, where does Srila Prabhupada say all these things? What else is
Exactly, Prabhu.
mental speculation? This is very dangerous, Prabhu.
Sorry, tell me.
This is dangerous to think like these kind of things. No, for us and for everyone else, instead of real everything on what Prabhupada has said.
If
Okay,
you heard me,
then
I never
think,
said this is
then see,
fact. Yeah, you're saying
then let us
that
see
they're
it.
not devotees. He's saying that it's not devotional
No,
service.
saying or not saying, let us go to what Srila Prabhupada is writing and from different angles see what he's writing, not like speculate what he's thinking. So, but I can show you one thing. Let's look at this thing. See, you're talking about the different. See, this is from Madhya Leela 19 chapter 152nd verse, the purport of it. Lord Chaitanya is instructing our great foundation Acharya Srila Rupa Goswami. So in that purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, Bhaktilata Beej means the seed of devotional service. Everything has an original cause or seed. For any idea, program, plan, or device, there is first of all the contemplation of the plan, and that is called bija or the seed. The methods, rules, and regulations by which one is perfectly trained in devotional service constitute the Bhaktilata Bij or seed of devotional service. This Bhaktilata Bij is received from the spiritual master by the grace of Krishna. Other seeds are called Anya Abhilasha Bij, which means different other desire Bij, Karma Bij and Jnana Bij, the desire to do jnana and karma and everything. If one is not fortunate enough to receive the Bhakti Lata Bij from the spiritual master, he instead cultivates the seeds of karma bij, jnana bij, or political and social or philanthropic bij. However, Bhakti Lata Bij is different from these other bijas. Bhakti Lata Bij can be received only through the mercy of the spiritual master. Therefore, one has to satisfy the spiritual master to get Bhakti Lata Bij. Yasya prasadad, bhagavat prasado. Bhakti Lata Bij is the origin of devotional service. Unless one satisfies the spiritual master, he gets the bij or root cause of karma, jnana, and yoga without the benefit of devotional service. However, one who is faithful to his spiritual master gets the Bhakti Lata Bij. This Bhakti Lata Bij is received when one is initiated by the bona fide spiritual master. Of course, it goes on then. Understood. See, and then
Okay, so
expand
please tell me.
if I can go forward, then this is expanded, these bijas, no? They are expanded by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and then Srila Prabhupada and the Acharya Srila Prabhupada expand. They are talking about there are three different kinds of modes of material nature. See, one is the pure devotional service. See, which one received by yasya prasadad bhagavat prasado. Then there are 91 different shades of devotional services, which are not pure devotional. Those 91, how they come? They calculate. It says there are three modes of material nature. When they mix with each other, there can be mishra, like sattva, raja, and tama mixed, like total 9. And then 9 multiplied by 9 is 81. So those are, 81 different shades of these karma bij and jnana bij, anya abhilasha bij. These are 81 different kinds of devotional service. It looks like pure devotional service, but it is not. Pure devotional service has different symptoms. And
My brother, am I right in understanding the text you just read? The key here is the satisfaction of the spiritual master.
yeah,
All right. Okay.
And
So
the
now
initiation.
that should be answered. Okay, we already know, as far as we're concerned, even more than ISKCON, that initiations by not Pancharatrika, but Bhagavad Viti, right? Which means Vani, hearing. So as they're reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Prabhupada book, Gita, they're initiated. Correct or not correct?
No, no, Prabhu. It's not so simple, black and white, just by reading one. What happens is starts. One, see, however much one is reading, but how much one is understanding. No? That is, there is a proportion to this word. See, this, the proportional is ye yatha mam prapadyante, same thing, the proportional. Where did it go? The proportion is this. This is the most important. Srila Prabhupada quotes that often again and again. This one. This is from the 7th chapter, accepting the shelter of the spiritual master. This is links with this. The attitude of the disciple should always be to satisfy the bona fide spiritual master. Then it will be very easy for him to understand spiritual knowledge. One may be reading, but one can't understand. This is confirmed in the Vedas, and it will be further explained by Rupa Goswami that for a person who has unflinching faith in God and spiritual master, everything becomes revealed very easily. The yasya deve para bhaktir, yatha deve tata guru. That is the verse Srila Prabhupada quotes so many times. This is the essence.
Okay, so again, we're saying the satisfaction of the spiritual master, right? Is that right or is that wrong?
No, this is very right. But
Okay.
unless one has faith in, unflinching faith in the spiritual master, it doesn't, that doesn't mature, no?
No. The correct sentence here is everything becomes, here it says if you have that, everything becomes revealed very easily. Maybe if you don't have it, it's revealed, but not so easily, correct?
Exactly.
It takes time. Okay. So now, two points. Sorry, I just like to keep things very clear, and often we jump so far everywhere. So, two things: get initiated and satisfy the spiritual master. Correct?
No, three
That's what
things.
we're kind of talking
Taking
about.
shelter, initiate, taking first shelter to the right person, no?
Prabhuji, how can you please the spiritual master if you don't take shelter of him? Shelter is included.
Right. So, I mean, that is first aspect is taking shelter. They see ISKCON devotees, this is the problem, and taking shelter itself is a problem. No, that's why I'm making it a point.
It is a problem. I agree with you on one level, but I don't agree with your conclusions and result is that they are taking shelter of Prabhupada. I personally seeing, realizing, will teach everybody, as far as whoever comes in contact with me, that everybody and anybody who reads Srila Prabhupada's books and starts to, like, let's say, absorb them and follow them, they're accepting Prabhupada. They're consciously or unconsciously, they're accepting Prabhupada. And they'll become more conscious of it later.
One
They're
level,
given,
to one level for sure.
yeah. And Prabhupada is giving them shelter from day one. Give them shelter and give guidance, give more shelter.
He's telling everybody to distribute his book far and wide. So that is his mercy already being distributed. He's ready and willing. That's why he's telling everybody to distribute. It's the most pleasing.
Okay.
That is
Okay.
given.
So
For
so Jamie here reads Prabhupada's book and then says, okay, I'm going to go out and distribute some books. So he goes to the temple, he gets some books, they're changed books, but he doesn't know, or there's nothing else. And he starts to distribute Prabhupada's books and telling people about Krishna, and people take them, people get inspired, start chanting. Tell me, is Prabhupada sitting there happy with this devotee or not happy?
How do I know what Prabhupada is thinking? I just go by
Okay, good. Okay.
Can I add something?
Right.
Can I add something here before I forget? Sorry, Prabhu. Can I add something here?
I'd like to say something as well on this.
Okay. Okay. You say first. You say. No.
One thing I want to say, I don't think distributing change books is Prabhupada's work at all. I'm sorry to say, Prabhupada's books is Prabhupada's books, original books, and he said never to change his books. And if you're distributing change books, that is not Prabhupada's work. That's I'm sorry to say that Prabhupada's books are authentic, original, And that is the only way you can reach Srila Prabhupada, understand Srila Prabhupada. By reading change books, you're not understanding the essence of what Srila Prabhupada wanted his disciples to understand.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Because you know, to underline this point, just move this like 100 years forward, right? Where then, like you saw with the Catholic Church, right? In due course of time, once you start a little bit changing, afterwards you don't recognize it at all. So in 100 years' time, the same argument that you're making, Balaram Prabhu, is like, okay, new devotee comes in 100 years, right? He doesn't know that the books were changed in the first place. They're not completely unrecognizable at that point. Will Prabhupada still be happy? And at that point, I think the argument is quite clear. No, because at that point, it's not even Prabhupada's books anymore. No, it's only like a mental speculation. Oh, that's Prabhupada's books. The name is on it, right?
Okay, let me
That's
ask you
complete.
this. Does that devotee think it's Prabhupada's books?
Probably he thinks that.
Okay, so now we have to try to
But
put our head there. When that devotee has that content in his heart and head, how does Prabhupada deal with him? That for me is important. As in, that's what I want to understand from Guru Tattva.
I think how would Prabhupada deal with that? I think Prabhupada, if the devotee is sincere in his ways, I think Prabhupada would eventually bring that devotee to an authentic where he is actually being. I like to say in regards that maybe he will give Prabhupada would take the devotee to disciples who are actually following Srila Prabhupada's teachings and the instructions, the original books. Eventually, I think it all depends on how sincere that. See, the other problem with ISKCON is that they've put Srila Prabhupada to a side, and they have their guru and their guru's books, and they're trying to and those. I'm sorry to say, that's not sincerity to Srila Prabhupada and his original teachings that Srila Prabhupada gave. So if you're putting Srila Prabhupada's books and Srila Prabhupada aside and thinking that person will eventually come will be saved by Srila Prabhupada, I disagree on that.
Mhm.
Can I add something now?
Yes, Prabhu, please.
Yeah. See, whenever I'm listening to Balaram Prabhu and I'm listening to Leo Prabhu, Nimai Prabhu, and Chaitanya Prabhu, in my opinion, like Prabhu asked a question, like Balaram Prabhu asked a question: if someone is distributing in mainstream ISKCON, if is distributing Prabhupada's books, will Prabhupada not be happy with that person? He asked a very simple question, okay, from his perspective, right? From his perspective. But from you devotees' perspective, you already have these change books, you know its impact, you know its significance. And now when you're giving such response to Balaram Prabhu is finding it difficult. Okay. He just wants to hear what, okay, will Prabhupada not be happy with these persons? Of course, Prabhupada, it's not 0 or 100%, right? Prabhupada will be somewhat happy with these persons. But by Prabhupada will give them mercy. It's not that he's withdrawing all his mercy from these persons. No, he's giving some mercy. Some of this mercy, maybe with time, this person will get will what? His doubts will be cleared, or he will get that knowledge about what is going wrong in ISKCON. If he gets mercy, okay, Prabhupada is always giving his mercy. If that person who is caught up, who is trapped in a corrupted society, of course, by developing spiritual credit, one day, based on his sincerity, seriousness, one day his eyes will be open. Why Prabhupada will not show mercy to this person? But provided he's sincere, serious, and willing to take the mercy, to take knowledge, to take this. It's not 0, 100%. It's not black and white, right? Balaram Prabhu, I hope that's what we are trying to convey to you. But you're asking a question, simple question from your perspective. I understand, but you're getting kind of hardliners approach in your perspective. But for us, for most of us here, it's quite clear and simple. And because you haven't gone much through this final order, through Lilamita review, through many important works regarding the Ridvik issue, right? So, and also one thing about the, you're saying, okay, will Prabhupada, like you asked me earlier, like you were trying to tell what I'm saying from my perspective, like I'm speculating. It's not, I wasn't speculating. Just like I told you in the beginning, that Prabhupada has given many instructions, right? It's not 1 or 2, 5, 10 instructions, dozen instructions. No, he has given hundreds or thousands instructions. And among these 1,000 instructions, there are institutional directives, which was written in black and white about how initiation should be performed in ISKCON, right? So, having this in mind, we are saying that most of the mainstream ISKCON, they have deviated from Prabhupada's teachings. But you are not convinced enough that these people, these senior authorities, have deviated. That's why you're saying that, okay, it's chalta hai, it's okay, it's all right. So this is quite dangerous.
You
So these
completely, Vashish Prabhu, you completely misunderstood me. First of all, although
Okay.
I may look like a soft Ritvik, as far as the initiation, how they should happen and ought to happen, 200% with you. There's no, and I teach people that, I try to teach people that, share that, blah, blah, blah. So I'm 200% on board with the Ritvik initiation system, the July 9th letter. That's not, it's not what we're discussing here. Actually, we're discussing how ISKCON,
Okay. Sorry to interrupt you. Based on what, if you tell me you agree on the Ridvik form of initiation, very good then. Now the quote which Nimai Pandit Prabhu has shared regarding Bhakti Lata Beach. You said that the most important, the keyword is yasya prasadad yasya prasadad bhagat prasado. If you read Prabhupada's work, right, the Bhaktivedanta purport, starting from the most basic book like Nectar of Instruction or even Bhagavad Gita, whenever throughout Prabhupada's teaching, he will always, now when you read Prabhupada books, pay attention to this: bona fide, authorized, pure, all these things, it's there. Even in that purport, in that excerpt which Nimai Pandit Prabhu just shared with you, couple of times he has it is mentioned bona fide, perfectly trained. All these things are mentioned. So what do we understand by perfectly trained, bona fide, unauthorized, authorized, like all these things, pure? So these are the things that someone is trying as far as possible to follow, implement Prabhupada's instructions. You can't take it lightly. Now, if you're taking that bona fide, or you're taking the term bona fide, you're taking perfectly trained, all these terms lightly, then it will become a problem in the long run, Prabhu. Please try to understand what you're trying to convey.
If the devotees, young devotees are being misled and they are trying to please this guru, that guru, which is Srila Prabhupada more or less is like a figurehead or a grandfather, spiritual master, or a very nice acharya and kind of a friend also, but not one personal guru, no? Personal guru. He is giving me this instruction. He is giving me, if I do this, I'm doing it for his pleasure. There is a person, no? You can't like take that away, no? That person, whom are you trying to please? That itself they are not doing, then what are we talking about? Of course, there is this, by reading, they are trying to understand Srila Prabhupada's purport. That Srila Prabhupada says you're learning, that itself is getting initiated to one degree. That is definitely true. But then it hits a break, no? There is only till one level you go, and after that you can't proceed, no, beyond that.
why not? Why are you saying it hits a break? I find it the opposite, that actually It goes further.
They don't change the consciousness, of course. So, of course, by
No.
gradually
I-
don't change, then it won't work. That, yeah, Prabhu.
Yeah, sorry, Prabhu. Regarding this personal guru, personal touch, like in the mainstream, they put lots of emphasis, right? Actually, this personal guru, everyone needs a personal guru, a living guru, kind of. Yes, you need a living guru, but what kind of living guru? It's the Siksha guru that you need to be living. The one who will bring you closer to Prabhupada and present you the perfect, the right teachings of Prabhupada, the pure teachings of Prabhupada. You need that living guru. And this living guru is a Siksha guru, it is a sadhu, it is a whatever we have discussed. You need it. You need it. Without it, it's almost, I don't say impossible, almost impossible to know Prabhupada's instruction clearly, rightly, or perfectly, or completely. Without, if you don't get the personal association of someone who knows about Prabhupada's teachings, or in a short term, if you don't come across a Prabhupada Anuga, okay, you will be misled, Prabhu. Prabhupada Anuga, I mean, one who knows how initiation should be conducted. He knows everything about the book changes, about the direction of management, all these things. If he doesn't have a clue about all these things, if he doesn't have a clue about these things, about initiation, about book changes, about direction of management, forget about pure devotional service. Again, pure devotional service, I don't say that if someone doesn't know all these things, he's not performing devotional service at all. Be careful on that. I'm not saying that he won't be doing devotional service. He will be doing, but it's not pure. In a percentage, you can say not definitely not 100%. Okay, definitely not 100%. Now, if these persons in the mainstream, if they would have known all these things, they are just like palena parichate, the devotional service, the practical devotional service that we are doing. Maybe it would have been manifold, or maybe this point Pradyumna Prabhu, I think, said it a few sessions earlier, that they would have done maybe 100 or 1,000 times whatever preaching activities they are doing now. They would have got the full mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Lord Krishna.
Exactly.
Exactly. That's why others are trying to tell you since the beginning, but you seem to have a bit of
Just
you're not able to understand this
devotional service.
stuff.
Shuddha Srila Prabhu, you wanted to say something?
So actually, I was thinking, means when we were discussing, I was trying to understand through some of the some leelas of some devotees or something. I was trying to find. I was not able to relate much through, but it happened to me. Like, I don't know whether we can draw an analogy directly or not, but there was a great devotee, Bimla Mangala Thakur. So Prabhupada mentions, I was trying to understand if Prabhupada has written something about him. And I think Prabhupada was mentioning that as he was a woman hunter, basically. And he was very fond of one of the prostitute called Chintamani. And that Chintamani acted as her guru for that particular instance, to remind him for Krishna consciousness, for Krishna. From that time onwards, he started moving in that direction. And later he took formally an initiation also. That's what I was trying to look around. I'm not sure whether we can draw an analogy here or not, but at least we can understand that Chintamani, being a prostitute, again, disclaimer is that Bimla Mangal Thakura further took formal initiation from a guru. He did not consider Chintamani as his initiation guru. Again, we have discussed about various kinds of guru, Path Pradarshak guru, right? Especially. So maybe for these ISKCON devotees, who knows, they are just acting as a Path Pradarshak, right? Showing the path to devotion. And later they may get clarity and right vision, and definitely as you were reading also, so definitely they have to take a shelter of spiritual master, and these gurus are not spiritual master. That is very clear for all of us. At least at that level we have a clarity that the gurus in the ISKCON society, by made by GBC, they are not spiritual master,
Bona fide, yeah.
bona fide spiritual spiritual master basically means it has to be bona fide. It cannot be non-bona fide spiritual master. So that clarity we all have. Now the question is when they will take pure Krishna consciousness or unadulterated. That is their own journey, which they have to travel. And coming back to one of the question actually, where when we talk about distributing books, right? Especially with the changed version books, right, where things have been again, definitely if a person knows that books have been changed, he should not try to distribute changed books. But if a person is not aware, or let us say an example, there are books in Russian languages, there are books in many other languages across the globe, right? Prabhupada, uh,
You can use my example. I only have ISKCON books in Turkish language, change books. So what to do?
it is um, Prabhupada used to say, right? Best use of bad bargain.
Sure, it's always milk touched by a serpent too.
Yes, that is also a fact actually. Yeah, that is also a fact, that milk touched by a serpent. And Prabhupada always used to warn us. But um, if the sincerity is there in the heart, I see that Prabhupada will definitely guide, even because Prabhupada said that he is present in his books. So even though there is some poison in it, but we have pure devotee in the same book.
This there is in 12th chapter, no, Bhagavad Gita. This
Hmm.
is very nice. Where is this gone? Bhagavad Gita, 12th chapter, right? Yeah.
Even one more thing, even lot of Rithviks as of now, uh, other than the English language, they have to read the changed books, isn't it? Like even in Hindi language, it has been, or many other languages, people who are following, they are reading the changed books.
We have to do this, Prabhu. This is our most important service, to provide these books, whole Vani, to everybody in the world, and the original Vani of Srila Prabhupada to everybody. This 12th chapter, first three or four verses, they are kind of alluding to this. There are two paths. Arjuna inquired, which is considered to be more perfect? Those who are properly engaged in your devotional service, or those who worship the impersonal Brahman and unmanifested? I'm not saying they are Mayavadis. I'm just talking about how Krishna is answering this question, to kind of think, kind of understand how in this situation it could apply, which is a different group of devoted people we are, So second verse, the Blessed Lord said, "He whose mind is fixed on my personal form, always engaged in worshipping me with great and transcendental faith, is considered by me to be most perfect." Third verse, "But those who fully worship the unmanifested, that which lies beyond the perception of the senses, the all-pervading, inconceivable, fixed, and immovable," basically impersonalist, the impersonal conception of absolute truth, by controlling the various senses and being equally disposed to everyone, such persons engaged in the welfare of, at last achieve me. Now that looks like, okay, both are going, no, to Krishna, whether it is personal form or impersonal form. So what's the problem? The next word Krishna says, "For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied." Now I'm not again saying that they are, they are impersonalist. What I mean to say is that when, yeah, this chapter 7, when Srila Prabhupada writes that the attitude of this thing and the bona fide spiritual master, this Srila Prabhupada is my spiritual master, I want to please him, that consciousness is there, then it is very easy for him to understand spiritual knowledge. Easy. And then he says, for a person who has unflinching faith in God and spiritual master, everything becomes revealed very easily, not troublesome.
Can I?
So
Sorry,
I
Prabhu.
can
Prabhu,
go ahead.
can I add
Prabhu.
something here, Prabhu?
Yes.
So yeah, the quote which you just shared, the attitude of a disciple should always be to satisfy the bona fide spiritual master, right? Then it will be very easy for him to understand spiritual knowledge. Now, this is Prabhupada's quote, right? And this Shastra, like we say. Now, the attitude of the disciple should always be to satisfy the bona fide spiritual master. Here, what does bona fide spiritual master mean? Does it mean only the Diksha Guru, or can it mean also the Siksha Guru also, the one who is purely representing Prabhupada?
No, here it is talking about because this next line is initiation.
Right.
Accepting initiation. See, if you go in the previous, it's talking about initiating spiritual master. In this one, says, out of the 20, the first 3, namely accepting the shelter of a bona fide spiritual master that we just heard, taking initiation from him and
Yes.
serving him.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Can I make a comment?
You know what, Prabhu? These are the quotes also which the living Diksha Guru Varis will use, and then they will say, okay, this will be so bogus, because that's what Prabhupada's Prabhupada's, even I think I forgot where I read, but like these terms, where Prabhupada uses spiritual master or guru, it's for me when I read Prabhupada's books, these things are very intricate, Prabhu. They are very, very implicit kind of. There are different or deeper meanings to these things. Like, Prabhupada sometimes in one paragraph he may be saying one line something, and just like for us the Paribhas Sutra verse regarding the Diksha Guru, like the verse from the purport 4.8.54, I think one should accept a bona fide spiritual master coming in authorized by his predecessor spiritual master coming in the bona fide. This is a big section, something like that. You know what I'm talking about. So these people may say only one sentence, okay? Only one sentence you're using, and you're the whole parampara thing, you're distorting it. That's what they will say to us, isn't it?
But those kind of statements, crucial statements, he does repeat it in different ways all throughout, because they are tattva, these are like there. Of course, one that Srila Prabhupada says is one word, api, destroys whole impersonalism. Krishna says, I and api, or I and I am also present in the heart, 13th chapter. Yes, Chaitanya Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. So I just want to make a quick comment. I think we have to understand the basic fact is that we directly cannot worship Krishna. We are not qualified to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is the reason we serve through Srila Prabhupada, a bona fide guru. So samsara prayers we recite daily, Saksad Dharitra Samasta Sastre Yuktas Tata Bhavyat Eva Sadbi. So the spiritual master has to be worshipped as good as God. We have to, and that is a very important aspect that ISKCON is failing to recognize, because they are following gurus who are not really even gurus. They're just they're not qualified. They're not bona fide. So when you don't have a bona fide guru that you're following, if you're not honoring bona fide guru as much as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then the basic fundamentals are already misleading you, and you're not gonna be you're not gonna have the proper understanding that Srila Prabhupada expects from his disciples.
This maybe we can finish here. This one, the next statement, no, regarding accepting initiation from the spiritual master in the 11th canto, stated by Lord Krishna, my dear Uddhava, the spiritual master must be accepted not only as my representative but my very self. He must never be considered on the same level with an ordinary human being. One should never be envious of the spiritual master as one be envious of an ordinary man. The spiritual master should always be seen as the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and by serving the spiritual master, one is able to serve all the demigods. Even here, this essential principle, this is what Srila Prabhupada says, and Srila Rupa Goswami is saying, this is initiation. You can see, this is the evidence. Evidence regarding devotional service, this is what, it is so important. This is the essential feature of taking shelter and initiation is this. So maybe we can look at this Lilamrita review maybe next week. Maybe we can take a look at that book, that article, that whole wonderfully. It is not just Lilamrita, but the consciousness of of accepting what is ordinary. Why is being told again and again, don't take don't treat a spiritual master as an ordinary person. Again and again, you can see, why is being told? Because it is a natural tendency of people who are materialists to think everybody as them. And it is tough to get out of that consciousness. And Satsvarup Maharaji did that Lilamrita. People just, it is like, it's not my opinion. Yashodanand Prabhu is saying that, who was with Srila Prabhupada, he's been through this thick and thin. Not only him, others also. And he is coming out with such a core. I cannot tell you how much important it is to go through that Lilamrita review and really inculcate it and see how not to see Srila Prabhupada as, I guarantee all of us, we have certain ways we see Srila Prabhupada as an ordinary person. There are different gradations. And to keep rooting it out from our heart so that that process of taking shelter and initiation becomes better and better and better. I feel like, it's my endeavor all the time. I keep on checking myself. Am I looking at it? I'm so afraid of this thing because again and again, I understand it. Without it, I'm not going to progress well. And I want to be an instrument, real powerful instrument if possible. Vashish Prabhu?
Yeah, one last addition regarding this mainstream devotees regarding Prabhupada Prabhu. Actually, many mainstream devotees, which Bhagavan Prabhu also maybe wouldn't agree at all with what you just said. See, mainstream devotees, they don't consider Prabhupada as an ordinary person, right? They consider him as an extraordinary person, but they consider him as an extraordinary person, just like Yashodaran Prabhu mentions in his review that they consider him as an extraordinary mundane person.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Actually, he's not an extraordinary mundane person. He is an extraordinary transcendental person. That meaning between the mundane and transcendental, these things where Satsvarup Maharaj has successfully corrupted many, many people in the present ISKCON right now. And that's what is preventing other people from kind of accepting Prabhupada as a Diksha Guru, as a sole Diksha Guru in ISKCON, and accepting others, unauthorized, non-bona fide people as a Diksha Guru. This is a main.
You're giving so much credit to this Lilamrita, man. I tell you, all of
It's
you.
exactly what we should read that book. You should read that book. This
One
is
should
very,
know
very
the
important.
enemy is to fight it. Otherwise, one doesn't
Fight
even know.
it by writing a nice book about Prabhupada.
That's
Never
what,
mind
no?
this Lalita. Okay, don't write it. Write a bona fide book establishing what we need to establish, Srila Prabhupada's personality.
So you think that
You know, so
when the acharyas are counteracting so many philosophies which go against the Krishna is supreme personality of Godhead, you know, both go on, hand in hand, no? Glorification
yeah, okay, I'm saying
out
this review, as I've just heard, was written in 19 what?
96,
83.
83, huh?
1983
No, no.
review.
Review was written in 96. Review, Lailamrita
90, okay.
is came out in
Yeah, 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 yeah.
1996.
Sorry. Maybe
That's
1996, but the
that's
other one
that's
was
that's
copyright. Prabhupada is already in the
that's
room. Yeah.
31 years ago. Now, please tell me, why hasn't Yashodanandan or any devotee, senior devotee, got this Leelamrit, corrected all that, erased and deleted all the stuff about showing Prabhupada as a mundane person, and given us the Prabhupada Leelamrita, let's say, without this stuff? It can't be that difficult.
I heard there's a Lilamrita written by another devotee. Actually,
Yeah,
Yashodan
Mukund
Prabhu.
Mukund Das. Mukund Das, I think.
Yes,
Nilam
yes, yes.
Dashi. Yeah.
He's saying that is a better read than reading the
No,
Satsarup
Prabhu, you're
Maharaj's.
showing Pradyumna Prabhu, you're showing it in this book. Your Mukunda Prabhu wrote from Manchester.
yeah, I have that book actually.
Did.
I haven't read it. I have it, but I haven't
He
read
did
it.
it on top of that. He understood, and that's why they came out with this.
Yes.
I know when he was writing all this, and no. So um, it would be. I don't know if everyone agrees. We
And
can.
actually, okay, so just give you some side information. I said it myself, it just came to me. So Purajit Prabhu of Bliss, they're actually doing exactly this, what I just said. Last year, one of the devotees came and traveled all around India, collecting the photos and pictures of every single place that Prabhupada visited. So hopefully when that comes out, we'll see what it is and how it is, but he's put in a lot of time and effort to actually write Prabhupada Lilamrita without this mundane or view of Prabhupada. So just for news, in case you
Understood,
didn't know.
what point was that um, only great personalities, like spiritual personalities, can show us what other personalities are acting, what is going on in their minds, you know. So that's the point which Mukunda Prabhu took, that why don't we hear directly from Srila Prabhupada about himself? Now somebody can make different um, different things out of it. Okay, this is when Srila Prabhupada says that. Sorry, I have to go now. I'm really sorry. If somebody can make, like when Srila Prabhupada says, I was born here like this, like this. So Mukunda Prabhu then writes all this. He says, but it is actually mm, as a humility, he is acting like a human being. So he's saying that, but Bhagavatam, it says, what it says is actually he never is born like that, like us, you know. So somebody can also put more photographs to those things all around and make it more and more like that. But directly hearing from Srila Prabhupada, how can one match it? And what Mukunda Prabhu did is such a great service to compile all that. It's just thankful, grateful to these devotees so much to do that. So I mean, all these are great for us to read through. On the other channel which we are talking about, no, to really understand Srila Prabhupada himself, the person, here we are doing it is in his aspect of guru and also science behind it and everything. But as you rightly pointed out, Srila Prabhupada didn't wait for the 10th canto, you know, he also, so we can directly also start reading about him, think, you know, directly the person. And I mean, I don't know how it would be done, whether we do it alternate weeks or we meet twice a week, or let's say when we are meeting, half time we spend on science and half time we spend on talking directly from, let's say, Lilamrita and take that up, or Lilamrita review, and Lilamrita as it is, and then a couple of things which I have written also. So we can look at all of those gradually and understand Srila Prabhupada through the eyes of the scriptures, the person. Like in Krishna book also, it's not just pastimes, it's like every time they offer prayers, very scientifically perfect prayers, like talking about how he is God, different qualities, similarly in that same vein. We can discuss it, and I have to go. It's 3 hours. It was very, very good. Thank you very, very much, Balram Prabhu and all the devotees, especially Balram Prabhu, because when you bring up all these topics, in such a nice, incisive, and thoughtful, and compassionate manner, and nothing is wrong that you are saying or saying, because it is all under the purview of devotional service and devotional scriptures, except a couple of things which I take exception to, about mental speculation, but I'm just kidding with you. But more like everything is under that purview, and I'm so happy we can keep discussing these things like this, because by discussion so many more things get revealed. And you can see I've been talking about this, like reading about this so much, and every time I'm talking with you and all this, so many more things I'm able to understand more. And it's always, I'm so thankful to you, Prabhu, and all the devotees for bringing so many things from different angles. And I'm so appreciative of all this discussion and revelations together. So thank you very much, and Chaitanya Prabhu, you came, and Christoph Prabhu also. Thank you very much.
Chaitanya Prabhu, nice to meet you. I
Hey,
don't know
nice
who
to meet
you
you.
are,
Thank
what
you,
you
bro.
are, where you are, but
Thank you, Prabhu.
nice.
Nimai Pandit Prabhu has been almost 20 years. I think he's known me now. 19 years for sure. So he's known me. So yeah,
Wow.
very Hare Krishna. Very nice to meet you all. Very nice.
Sure.
Years
Sure.
he has been helping and assisting in the case also, and my God, so many times. And now he's having his own Mahabharat, Kurukshetra. But among devotees, so everyone is getting purified, so it's all good. And he's handling it well. I think I hope so too. And all the devotees, So let's wish that everything gets sorted out nicely. Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare
Christoph,
Krishna.
thank you.
Vanchakalpatrubhyascha kripasindhubhyascha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.